And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we're joined all the way from somewhere in America, Carlos Thomas Jr.
Hey, what's going on, Giles, man? How you doing?
I'm really good, mate. Carlos, where are you from? Sorry, I should have asked this before. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Well, right now I'm in Wilmington, Delaware. That's where I was born and raised, and but I work in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. So like 20 minutes away from here.
Okay. Now, the first time, I'm just trying to think now, because you're still amateur.
Yes.
You're very privileged because we're quite snobbish here. We only usually have pros on, but
I know I watched the show quite a bit, so I'm really honored to be on. I really appreciate that.
Now, I think you was it yourself and your father approached me at the Arnold Classic. Was that last year or the year before?
Last year, man, but it seems like it was years ago, wasn't it? With all everything that's going on.
Do you know what? I just said that to Hunter Labrada. He was saying at the Arnold Classic, and he said he leant forward and he says that was only just last year, because it feels so long ago, doesn't it?
Ages, yeah, it feels like ages ago. But yeah, it was the 2020 Arnold Classic.
Yeah. So now, okay, then I want to talk about your competitive career and obviously where that's headed and all your plans. And obviously, we'll talk about the fact that you're coached by a very good friend of mine, Patrick Tuor.
Yes.
Which I was very excited about that. I was very excited about when I saw that. I was like, okay, now the magic's going to happen. So,
sir,
Carlos, tell us a little bit about your contest history to date.
Yeah, sure. So I started bodybuilding in 2014. I did 3 shows back to back. I was working with Fred Biggie Smalls at the time.
Yeah.
He's pretty local to me. He's right out of Newcastle, Delaware. I'm in Wilmington, so not very far at all. And prior to that, I was just playing collegiate football, but I hurt my neck. And once I hurt my neck, I was like, well, I still like lifting, but I kind of want to do something with it. So I was able to lift, and I was already interested in dieting and kind of getting in shape a little bit. So I was like, oh, I'll take bodybuilding a little bit serious. So I did the first show was a local show, the Maryland East Coast Classic. I think I won my class in that.
Can't remember.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
Like too many football hits, man. Kind of catching up with me. But I think I won my class in that around I think I was maybe a middleweight. Or a light heavy, just at the bottom of light heavy. But I do remember I did the Team Universe right afterwards, and I placed 4th in my class as a middleweight, and then I went on to do the collegiate nationals, and I placed 2nd in the light heavies. And then from there, I did not compete again until about 2 years later, because I tore my ACL. And I was
how sorry.
Well, it was an injury that I had from football still, lingering over, and just ended up took a bad step in a parking lot, a grainy parking lot, and it just it was already bothering me, but that was the nail in the coffin right there. And so I thought it was a sprain, so I kind of tried to work through it, but then I ended up getting an MRI. They said you tore it. So I got surgery on that and finished my undergrad degree that year. And then I went on to do another Team Universe where I placed 4th in with Fred. And from there, I moved on to work with Dave Palumbo. And we did the nationals together where I got 4th. I got 5th. No, I got 5th in the middleweights at the NPC Nationals.
It's good.
And took a few more years off working and completed my master's degree at the time. And I ended up working with Dory Hamilton.
Oh, wow.
Great guy.
Okay.
Yeah, great guy. So we worked together, and we were getting ready for nationals this year, but whatever, all the COVID things happened and kind of shut down our plans a bit. And to date, I am here with Patrick Tuor, working to do the NPC Nationals in December.
So obviously Patrick's in Switzerland. You're in America. How did that come around?
I've always admired Patrick's work for years. Seeing him work with first guy I've seen him work with was Nicholas Wouliad. Just a incredible physique, and I was like, man, that guy is like me. Short, stocky.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to be like that,
Yeah.
And so I was kind of following, the guys he was working with over the years. And when the opportunity came up to work with him, I just jumped at the chance, and he was very receptive to it. And he had been kind of following me a bit too. And it was great to hear that he kind of knew about a guy like me, because I'm not really big time or anything like that. So it was awesome. We hit it off, and we've been working together since, I think, February, and it's been magic ever since.
So, I mean, in terms of how your physique has progressed, because obviously we've all seen the pictures, these off-season pictures, and your legs and your arms are just, I mean, that's the things that really jump out. I mean, it just, kind of like Nicholas Foulier, where you just go, holy shit, this is like, it's a real eye-popping kind of, and I think one of the reasons people talking about you is because, no disrespect to some of the people turning pro, getting pro cards around the world. I think there's maybe a few that maybe don't, are not up to your level that have pro cards, and you don't have a pro card, So I think that's why, one of the reasons why you are a bit of a talking point in the industry.
And I guess it's a multitude of factors. You met my dad back in the Arnold, and he said, competing is always there, but we always discussed that I have another path that I was following, getting my degree, kind of just building out my professional career path as well. So I was still doing the business of bodybuilding. I'm training, eating, still doing the business of it. But as far as competing, I always felt that could hold off just a bit until I got my kind of life factors together.
Yeah,
and I felt that I was ready to bring a physique that could be like the guys, kind of like in the 90s, where they could, or like, as you saw this past year, like Nick Walker, where he transitioned from going from the North American straight into the Chicago Pro, to be able to go ahead and actually do some damage. That's something that I always aspired to do.
Yeah, I mean, you got guys like Derek Lunsford. I remember he won the USA in 2017. Yeah. A week later, was it a week later? A week later, went to Tampa. I was there, won the 212, goes to the Olympia 6 weeks later, comes top 5 in the Olympia, gets Rookie of the Year. You got Nick Walker, North Americans, gets 4th in Chicago. And I think there's a lot of kind of eyeballs are on you, because you've got everything there. I mean, you look like something from the 90s, mate. The 90s pros in the off season, when you see them and you're really like, holy shit, what is this? This is something special. And I think the fact that you're still amateur, and I think that's why I think you probably, the excitement for you and what you're going to be bringing to the nationals is just going to ramp up and up now until you get there,
Yeah, and that's what Patrick had discussed with me. He would say, "Hey, your physique, man, is just designed to blow people away, and just to shock and awe." And to have him believe in me like that, and to give me that, that vote of confidence, has just allowed me to take this all season to another level. My training has been great, diet's been great, everything has been probably like the best it's ever been since I started competing. So I think that's just a testimony to, how well we work together. So, it's been great. And this year is definitely going to be the year, no doubt.
Yeah. So what was you said you've been working with Patrick since February, correct?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So what was the game plan moving forward when you first had that first conversation, and, and you said, right, what exactly did he lay out to kind of get you to this point and beyond?
Well, I told him that I wanted to do the nationals this year, and we looked at the dates to see how much time we had to do, and a lot of what I had to bring up is my back, and he said that's enough time to do it. And from the progress pictures that I've been taking, and the comparisons that he's been showing me from when we first started to now, it seems that we're really bringing up that lagging body part a lot within only a few months of working with each other. So that was the game plan, was just to bring up my back a lot, bring up the chest, bring up the shoulders, everything to kind of balance out, like you said, those freaky arms and legs, and just bring a really good physique that's completely balanced from top to bottom.
I mean, those doorstep pictures you take, and I think,
green door.
Oh my God. I mean, the side chest, it's just your leg. It reminds me of it's kind of like Tom Prince 2001, the dimensions of your leg from the side, the ham drop and the sweep. You look like you've been photoshopped, mate.
Thank you, thank you. That's just those freaky proportions, that we've been trying to just bring up and focus on. If you have a freaky body part, I don't feel like you have to stop training it less. Like that's something that I pride myself on. And I was always a heavy squatter. Coming up playing football, I was a running back. We squatted twice a week, so that was always just like something that I just thoroughly enjoyed. So. Some guys like benching every day. I was like, I'll squat as much as I can.
Nice. So, are you going to be? I'm assuming you're going to be a heavyweight.
Yes. So, sorry, go ahead.
I'm just trying to get a gauge for your height and weight, and whether you're going to be headed into the 212 or the open. I'm just trying to work out, because I'm obviously like Nicholas. He's really struggled. From trying to keep his body weight down so he can stay at 212. Whereas if he really kind of let rip, he could probably be a 230 open, but he says, I don't want to do that. I'm going to have to hold back so I can fit better into this category. So I'm just trying to get a feel for where Patrick and yourself see your career headed beyond the nationals.
So that's something that I've been contemplating myself just a bit with Patrick. But I feel that my physique, once I get my pro card, I still have room to grow because I'm relatively still young in the sport. So I would like to see, like you said, kind of enter that 212 class.
Oh, 212.
But
okay.
Yeah, but as sort of like a William Bonac, whom I really do admire as like a bodybuilder. Just make that transition to open. And just kind of let my body just do what it wants to do. I feel that I can handle the size on my frame. I don't feel like I have like a very small frame as far as like my shoulder width. So I definitely feel as if I could hang on to build that size up and probably do like a 230, 235 type of open bodybuilder. So yeah, that is where my aspirations are.
How tall are you, mate?
Just at 5'7".
5'7". Yeah, because you kind of.
Just at 5'7".
I mean, maybe you could squeeze 1 year as a 212 potentially, but 5'7", really, I think you're kind of. I mean, really, you've got Zane Watson, and who's the other 5'7"? George Peterson. These guys, he's 5'8".
Yeah, he's 5'8". Yeah.
But I think really, a good 212 is really kind of 5'5" and under. I think, unless you're. Yeah, like a Zane Watson or a George Peterson, you got bloody helium in your bones,
Yeah, bird bones.
Yeah, so I think you're I think it's slightly over the level for 212, really, aren't you?
Yeah, I think so. But that's I'm just going to leave it and let go. Just kind of just let my body do what it wants to do. I'm not here to hold myself back. I love training hard. I love every aspect about the sport. So if my body takes me to be an open competitor, then that's what it's going to be. I don't want to limit myself. I want to take this as far as I can go. Said that when I first started, just kind of just run this till the wheels fall off and see what happens.
Yeah. So how old are you now? Sorry, did I ask you that? I think I asked
yes, I just turned 29.
29. It's the same as Hunter.
Yeah, I just turned 29. And last month, May 29th. I'm 29.
Really, you're primed to turn pro now, aren't you? Really, to have a really good run at having a good pro career. So, what do you do for a living, Carlos?
Oh, I'm a research coordinator for an Alzheimer's disease genetics lab here at the University of Pennsylvania, Penn Medicine. So I've been in this position for about a year now. Prior to that, I was working for a Alzheimer's disease research lab, still at Penn Medicine, but just in a different lab. But I work mostly in outreach, communications, social media, writing the articles for the websites, working on the back end of the websites. So I don't do any of the cool, looking at genomes or genetics or anything like that. I just really handle the communication aspects of it.
So do you find you balance the work and bodybuilding life quite well?
Yes, I'm beginning to get a better grasp on it. I remember when I was kind of first starting out in my career, I kind of needed to be focused on all right, now is, I'm working on my master's. I just need to focus on my master's. Now I'm just kind of entering my professional career. I need to focus on doing that. But now I feel like I'm getting a good handle on, I wouldn't say balancing, but managing the two. And being able to work from home right now, I hope we don't go back, because I'm able to cook my meals fresh, go straight. Oh, yeah. I have to commute about 20 minutes. Actually like 30 minutes on the train to get to work. And but working from home is just amazing right now. So,
and there's something very cool about eating chicken fresh. I mean, I don't know. I could never, ever get used to having reheated chicken at work from a Tupperware container. To be honest, I have PTSD just thinking about it.
Yeah. I mean, I've done it before, I did it, where training late at night, like 9 p.m., getting out of the gym around like 10:30. I've done it before, so I could definitely do it if we have to go back. But I would prefer to stay from home, because it's just so nice. You have everything in your comfort. I just leave. I go straight to the gym. It's like 10 minutes away. Oh, my food's cooked fresh. So working from home's been nice. But yeah, if I ever go back to work, I can handle that too. It doesn't really interfere with my bodybuilding. Kind of whenever there's a will, there's a way.
Of course. So going back to Patrick, how often do you two kind of connect, and does he take care of everything? Your SST training, is it just diet, or what? Tell us.
Yeah. So Patrick handles my training guidelines and my diet, supplementation, all of that. But my buddy Kyle Smith, a local trainer here, he actually handles my exercise selection. As far as like what exercise we're implementing into our program, the progression of the weights, we train about 4 to 5 times a week together. We sit down and we discuss the guidelines that Patrick has given me and how we can implement those into our training program. So Patrick, me and Patrick speak about around like 2 times a week, and I'll update him. Maybe I'll give him video updates about once a week right now. But I'm pretty sure that'll start increasing as we get closer to the mark.
So working since February, and your physique's improved, and it's you're feeling very good. What was the biggest change that Patrick implemented that you weren't aware of before? That was like, I wish I've learned something new, and I wish I'd done this before. What element? What aspect?
Yeah, it's not just being in the diet. We haven't changed the diet since we started working together, but my body's changed.
Yeah.
Pardon me. So we haven't changed the diet too much since we started working together. But he's feeding me more carbs than I've ever ate before. Protein isn't like super high as it has been in previous instances. But the training principle, honestly, is probably what's driven, a lot of my growth. He's changed the training guidelines more than the diet. And each time my body just responds, and we hit a new set point. I grow a little bit more, put on a little bit more lean tissue. So I think the things that he introduced as far as the training guidelines, and just staying consistent. He preaches consistency to me. And there's nothing fancy behind it. It's just staying consistent, putting in the work, and the results will come. Yeah.
So, I mean, you're saying you're doing the nationals. Have you qualified?
Yes, sir.
Where?
I haven't qualified. We'll be actually be doing a qualifier show 1 month before nationals. Yeah. So
what's the date of that?
November 20th. It's the I think it's NPC Battle Royale in Virginia. So not too far from me. About 2-hour ride for me. 2.5-hour ride. And I have some family down there, so it'll be nice. We'll have some people come to support me. Nice. So it'll be a great run for us, because we'll have exactly a month to get better, correct anything that needs to be corrected, or just maintain.
So when do you start your prep?
Starting end of July, beginning of August. 16 weeks away from the November 20th date. So we'll have 20 weeks until nationals. It'll be bang on. I
know Patrick likes his long, slow, painful preps. No, he likes a slow burn. Yeah, he's a slow burner. He likes it. I know Nicholas. I mean, he always does like 20-week preps. So
yeah. I think I prefer that anyway. For myself, I feel it's kind of like a snowball effect for me. Like each week, my mentality gets sharper and sharper. My routine gets sharper, and I feel more comfortable when I'm like dieting. You hear that from a lot of competitors. You know, their world becomes a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Their focus. Yeah. So they're able to get a lot of things. You become more efficient even in like your daily life, where you're just so routinized in your prep. So I'm looking forward to it actually. And I'm looking forward to kind of eating just a little bit less food because it's a lot of food.
Is it? It's a lot of food.
Well, I don't really have a big appetite myself. So yeah, it's not like force feeding myself, but it's just definitely more food than I've had in previous years.
So are you going to go to the Arnold Classic this year?
Debating on it. You know, me and my dad, we're a package deal. So we're thinking about trying to go to the Arnold Classic. It's not too bad of a trip. But we're definitely thinking of also going to maybe that Olympia too. So that'd be really cool.
So is your dad interested in bodybuilding as well? Because obviously I met you two at the Arnold. So what's his connection to bodybuilding? Is it purely through you, or is he interested beforehand?
Well, my dad grew up. My uncles did like my great uncles, they did like a local bodybuilding show around Delaware.
Oh wow!
So he's seen it before, and when my dad grew up, he was into some Olympic lifting a little bit, and a little bit of like some local powerlifting competitions. So he played sports when he was in high school. So he knows about lifting, knows about the gym. But as far as bodybuilding, he's never done it before, but he's always shown a great interest in anything that I pick up, whether it was like baseball, whether it was track or football or wrestling or anything that I got involved in coming up. He's always dove headfirst into it and shown a lot of enthusiasm.
Awesome.
Yeah, all of my family.
That's so cool. I mean, yeah, be able to go to a show with your dad, and that's really cool. Yeah.
That's what we do. You know, we like to hit some of the Bev Francis shows. You know, like over here in New Jersey, New York area. We'll hit a lot of those shows, get to see people, kind of get our face out there, and just have a great time. So yeah, we turned it into a little getaway for us. He's a great dude.
That's awesome. That's really great to hear. Right, so we're a few days out for the Puerto Rico Pro. Obviously, you're a big bodybuilding fan. Yes. What's your takes on that? Who do you think is going to take it, and who are you rooting for?
So I trained a little bit with Oscar back in the day, a couple years ago. Oscar Arden when he was training Akeem. So I had a great time. I had to get to know Akeem a little bit. So. He's looking amazing. They say he's doing a Puerto Rico Pro. He's looking probably that side shot is money, and I think that's pretty much a walk away for him right there. I think he's gonna walk away with that one. So he is probably one of my favorites coming in for the open guys. Yeah. What
about Hassan? What's your take on him?
I've seen him before. Like I go to a lot of shows, so I've seen him at the New York Pro. We were there in Tampa.
You went to you went to New York Pro this year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow!
We're there. We're there. Me and my dad, we're everywhere, man.
Nice.
See one of us. So we went to the New York Pro. That was a great show. Nick Walker looked crazy, looked ridiculous. But yeah, I think Hassan has all the muscle in the world. Crazy size. To definitely win these shows, and just to bring in that conditioning a little bit more, and he'll be able to be right up there. But I just think like Akeem's overall stature is just so overwhelming. Like he's a big guy.
He is
just in person, but he's just a big guy.
I mean, really, for me, he kind of leveled up in 2019 Olympia when he took 9th, and finally he started really getting that conditioning to fullness ratio right. Because beforehand, he was just frustrating. It was frustrating to see. And then obviously he got 6th place at the Olympia last year. He won Chicago. But have you noticed that a lot of people now are really thinking that he could win the Olympia? I mean, do you think is that possible?
I was actually having this conversation with my dad the other day, and I think it's quite possible for him to be. We said in top 3 for sure, because he when he got next to a lot of those competitors, in the Olympia last year, he was out of place, and if you think about it, Phil may not be participating this year, so if everything goes right, he moves up into that top 5 slot. And that's and he could work his way up possibly 2 more slots from there to be top 3, I think. No disrespect to the other competitors coming in, such as Royley, if he does qualify.
Yeah.
But coming into his own, and kind of is kind of an aspiration, for guys like me who just keep working their way at it.
Yeah. Who's your favorite pro?
Yeah. Right now, my favorite pro has been William Bonac. Like I said, because he came from the 212 to the Open, and I just love his physique. Super thick, super round and dense. His this is the 2018 Arnold Classic that he won that one.
2018. No, that was Dexter, wasn't it?
Was his first?
2019 was Brandon. Yes, 2018. Sorry, correct. Yeah, he did win it in 2018. Yeah. 2019 was Brandon. 2020 was William again.
Loved his physique that he brought into that one. So yeah, he just like seeing his physique kind of like reminds me like kind of like where I want to be. So I was like, okay, like that's a guy to kind of aspire to be like as far as like, on the bodybuilding stage. And of course, like my favorite, like probably like pro coming up was from the 90s would say like Kevin Levrone. I loved his physique.
Nice.
I love
good choice.
His 92 Olympia, like the Helsinki, was just like no disrespect to Dorian, but like that's my favorite. Like that's probably one of my favorite physiques all time.
Yeah.
I love the streamline look, but he brought the muscle with it. He brought just like the overall package of like the flair, like everything looked good from top to bottom. So that's probably like overall like one of my favorite bodybuilders is Kevin Levrone. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to show off now, mate. I saw Kevin the day after that 92 Olympia because he did the British Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And that was before the internet, and most people didn't even know that Dorian had won it because he'd won it the night before, and then pretty much apart from Lee Labrada and Sean Ray, the entire Olympia lineup came to Nottingham to the British Grand Prix. So I got to see that version of Kevin, 24 hours later. Awesome. And I had him on the show, and I even remembered the music he posed to. And I said, do you remember, Kevin? I said, you posed to Michael Jackson Jam. And he went, no, I never would have posed to that. And I said, Kevin, I was there, mate. I remember. I said it was burnt. He says, no, I've never posed to Michael Jackson. I says, go and watch the video. I says, I'm telling you, I was there, 5th row. I was 16 years old. I saw that. Because that version of Kevin, like you said, was absolutely incredible.
It was. That's probably one of my all-time favorite physiques for overall from Kevin, and compared to any other bodybuilder. That was probably one of my favorites. Yeah, he just brought it that time. It was definitely that it factor for me. So yeah, that was one of my favorite physiques. Yeah, and one of my favorite bodybuilders too.
Favorite 212?
Currently, I love Sean Clarita.
I knew you were going to say that.
He's like, well, he's not too far from me. He's over like in that New York, Jersey area. And every time I see him, he always shows love to me and my dad. And just to see that grind, like that's amazing, man. Like, come on. That is like, who doesn't love like that? That's like the Rocky story, Like,
yeah.
Just like,
yeah, it is.
It is. He really, like, I'm right next to Philly, so we got the Rocky statue. So he just works his way, and that's just hard work, and who doesn't love that?
I mean, he is literally like a 212 Ronnie Coleman, isn't he? That for me. I mean, did you see that picture of him from the Junior Nationals, guest posing at 198? And even at that size, and off season, he's still under 212.
Crazy physique. So yeah, at the moment, he's one of my favorite 212 competitors. Was definitely a fan of Jose Raymond when he was competing.
Yeah.
Loved his physique, like gnarly, like crazy look that he brought. He was one of my favorites when I saw those battles between him and Flex. Yeah, they were really good. Yeah.
I can see that you're really starting to go. You're emulating all the kind of physiques that are really the same sort of structure, height. William Bonac, Nicholas Vulliud, Jose Raymond. The Sean Clarida, that kind of thick, stocky, chunky kind of muscle. That I'm definitely seeing a bit of a trend there. Yeah.
Once you see these guys, and it just makes you think like, okay, that's possible. Because honestly, like they laid the blueprint out there. Especially if you see guys like like Sean, if that's not a blueprint, for, success of just putting your head down and just getting their work done.
Yeah.
But I don't know what is. He definitely let people know that it's possible. Like that's a hell of a story right there. And of course, like Jose Raymond, it's just like he's awesome. I always loved his routines. I love the music he posed to, bringing that crazy hard physique. It's like, so I definitely aspire to work my physique to guys at that level.
2 very short questions. Have you
Sure.
ever trained with any of these guys, and who would you like to train with if you haven't?
I have not had the pleasure of training with any of them.
Wow, okay.
But not yet. But I would definitely love to train with Sean, because I've seen his training clips on his Instagram, and he just looks like he goes balls to the walls
all year round. All year round.
Yeah, yeah. So he moves that guy. You know what I mean? Like heavyweight, a lot of reps. Like that's what I love to do. So I'm like, all right, bring that. And you know what I mean? Like I love, because I coming from football, I'm used to training with guys in the gym with me. Everyone's cheering you on. Bringing like a lot of energy into the gym. So I feel like he definitely brings that energy. So I would love to train with him. Yeah, that'd be great.
I think because I've told Sean this before. I said, Sean, I'll be honest. I said 80% of athletes' social media bores me shitless. And I find it quite irritating sometimes. But like I find that Sean's is really like it's consistent, and it's really honest, and it's raw. But I find it really kind of like, I do find it actually inspiring and quite motivating to see how he trains all year round. I mean, it's like, because I think about, in the 90s, we had the training videos and training DVDs and Battle for the Olympias. And then I think something in the last few years we've lost. And I think social media has all become about sort of static pictures. And I think we've kind of lost the really motivational trainers like the Branch Warrens and the Ronnie Colemans or the Dorian Yates. You put blood and guts on and you just think, fuck, I want to go and train now, you're gritting your teeth. You go watch Ronnie Coleman doing leg press or squatting right before you go train legs, and you are literally fired up. I think that's really missed, and I think that's why I like Sean Clarida's social media, because he is actually really, really inspiring and motivating.
It is, and it's just like you could see the intensity literally on his face. When he's lifting, he's not doing this. When he goes into the gym, he doesn't play around, and that's a professional mindset. And that's a professional work ethic, and that's why he is where he is today. So I think that's something that you just take away from just looking at his social media. And he's also like, when you meet him, he's the nicest guy. He always shows love.
He's a good guy. No, he's a great guy. In fact, shameless plug, in this issue of MD, I've just written a feature on Sean, and it was saying that when he was he said all his life, he said when he said he wanted to start bodybuilding, people laughed at him and said he was pointless because he was too small. When he turned pro, they said you'll never be a good pro. When he what I mean? He constantly had, they said, no, you're 155. At the 2015 Olympia, he was 155 on stage as a 212, so he was 57 pounds under the weight limit. And I mean, to be honest, if you'd have asked me at the 2050 Olympia, do you think this guy could win the 212 Olympia? I probably would have said no. But then you could have said the same if you asked me about Brandon Curry at the 2016 Olympia. When they asked him if he was at the press conference, if he was dropping down to 212, he took last place. And if you could tell me or ask me that, do you think this guy could win the Olympia in the next 3 years? You would just... Like you said about Rocky stories and these inspiring stories, like people like Sean Clarida and Brandon Curry. I mean, these are really, they've risen to the very top. They've won the Olympia titles, These are very inspiring figures.
Yeah. And I think that's why I gravitate towards these guys. I even met Brandon at the 2020 Arnold. Yeah. And, we actually sat down and he sat down with me and my dad, and we had a lunch together, and he was really cool. He was awesome. Nice. He's just a stand-up guy, and those are I think that the guys that people gravitate in these sports. People who are just just handle themselves with class, but also put in that work and let you go and kind of like I said, leave that blueprint that it's possible. Yeah. Especially for me, it lets me know that hey, there's guys out there similar to you, who made it happen, and you can do it as well.
Carlos, as I've told you at the start of this interview, it's like I'm pretty much requested to just pretty much bring the pros on. That's the thing that people want to hear about. That's people they want to get to know about. But every now and again, I'll see someone that really is, you can just see, you're going to turn pro, and all the likelihood is there that you're going to become a very, very good pro. I think like Derek Lunsford, the Nick Walkers, you can see greatness in these guys manifesting just through social media and just through the chatter in the industry, So, so basically what I'm saying is if you don't turn pro this year, it's going to make me look really bad.
I can't do that. I can't make you look bad.
Yeah.
So it's got to happen.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure at all. Pressure makes diamonds. So it'll be good. This will be a great year. I have a wonderful team behind me. I have great family, great friends, a great coach. So I know that this year is going to be something special. Nice. I have no doubt in my mind. It's going to be a good one. Okay, then right after you win the Nationals, I'm going to get you and Patrick on split screen. Let's do it. Definitely. Okay, make a note, Colleen. All right then, mate. Well, this has been fantastic, and I'm just glad we finally connected and got you on the show. And I'm excited for you, mate, because I've been watching you for a while. And then, like I said, when I saw you working with Patrick, I just thought, okay, this is good. This is good. So, I think it's going to be. I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion because you never know with bodybuilding. You never know who's going to show up, or you never know what's going to happen. So, but I'm sure I can tell by your mindset and your attitude. I can tell that you're a smart guy that's going to give it their all. And you got, like I said, you got a fantastic team. You got a good support team. And I'm just, I think a lot of us kind of have a pretty good idea of how the year's going to end for you. Yes, sir. Thank you. We're going to do something special this year, and I really appreciate your support, Giles. Appreciate you having me on. Anytime. It's my pleasure, and thank you so much for coming on MD Global Muscle, mate. Thank you. All right, Carlos. Take care then, mate. Bye-bye. And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On The Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we're joined for this hot news special, the fit rock star, Isabelle Turell. Oh, ow. Hey. I caused a crackle there in the microphone, Isabelle. Oh, boy. Hey, thanks for having me, Giles. It's an honor to be with the Tiger. Oh, that's what I like. I truly admire what you do with the athletes and the sport in general. You and Ron Harris do an amazing job with the entertainment and the coverage, and I have so much respect for you. And plus, I love my Brits, and, Thank you. So thanks for having me. No, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. We haven't spoke properly since the Olympia 2019 now. So, I know we missed you last year at the Olympia, man. What's going on over there? I'm going to build a raft this year, and I'm going to go across the Atlantic if I have to. You're so crazy. So, right, okay, one of the main reasons I want to get you on is, also fantastic to see you doing all the media work now. I was editing a bit from the Indie Pro there, because obviously you're doing the live stream commentary with Bob Chick. I saw you were doing backstage interviews at the Olympia. You've really stepped your game up. It's fantastic to see. But one of the main reasons I want to get you on is to talk about this new show that you've got for Jake Wood Media, the Fit Rockstar Show. Tell us about it. So Fit Rockstar Show is it's kind of like a Jimmy Fallon / Tosh.0 mix. What we do, or my objective is with the show, is to bring in athletes and show them in a different perspective, a different spotlight that we're always used to seeing him in the bodybuilding world. And what I do is, of course, I do an interview and I go deeper into the interview, getting to know them as a person. And then we do skits, challenges, all types of fun stuff. Just, again, seeing them from a different perspective. Like I just had, we just dropped our first episode this past Saturday, 12 p.m. With Sean Florida, Mr. 212 Olympia. And that was incredible because, Sean's a very quiet person. And, I was really worried about it, having him come on. But one of our things we did was we dressed him up as Mr. T, but we called him Mr. T. Mr. C, yeah. One of the things I did bring up to him, because I adore what you do. I love what you do. You amazing work. In our interview, I had to, mention to him how you called him and I started laughing when I watched your interviews. So you called him the Black Dorian Yates. Did I? And I'm like, oh God, I started laughing my
ass off because it's so true. I mean, listen, when he turns to the back and does that, that rear lat shot, holy crap. It's just like, you see like a Dorian-esque type of physique there. And so I love that when you said that. And I had to bring it up to him. He started laughing.
Oh, did you? Well, no, because I've referred to him as the as like a 212 Ronnie Coleman, and I've tried to put this hypothesis that because he's say 5'1", Ronnie's 5'11", and they say for every inch of height you can attribute 10 pound of muscle mass. So if you've got Sean at 177. 10 times 10 is 100, plus 100, that's 277. That's pretty much around what Ronnie Coleman competed at, pound for pound.
Right.
So that was my theory that I've been really pushing hard and for Sean because, so Sean's been your first guest then?
Sean was our first guest that we launched. We've had Derek Lunsford. I just had Yarishna Ayala, the wellness champ. Yeah.
What was that like? What was that like?
Heaven, my friend, heaven. It was really good. Some people think there's a language barrier there. There's not. She has such a beautiful soul, not to mention the most amazing body I've ever seen. I couldn't stop looking at her legs and her kadonkadonk, She's incredible. She talks, so she used to be a professional salsa dancer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, she had her own reality show and all kinds of stuff, but we did some fun things with her and some skits, which hopefully that'll launch soon. I don't control the schedule, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the idea of you doing the skits and the sketches and stuff, because I saw the Sean Clarita one, and I was like, okay, because a lot of these podcasts and shows are popping up, and, now the magazines are kind of dying out, and... and Jake's got his studio and he wants to he's got the Olympia now, so he wants to really promote the athletes. He's got Dennis James, the Dennis Menace podcast. He's got Sean and Bob. He's got Alina and Linda Murray, doing the Femflex Friday show. And I was thinking, this is really great to see, different types of shows all coming from, the kind of the same sort of studio. And I think it's fantastic. So it's good to have that extra personality and flavor and to add that creativity to shows like yours, What?
I said, thank you, Tiger.
Oh, fantastic. So how did the whole thing come around then? I mean, I know you're doing the media stuff and doing stuff with the Olympia, but how did the conversation happen to get this show up and running?
So, I did a couple of commentaries last year and just going to a lot of shows and whatnot. And I guess Jake and my director, they saw something special in me. Yeah. I mean, I thought special, like I'm in, a little bit cray-cray. They gave me a Zoom call and was like, hey, what do you think about having your own show? And I'm like, what? So they were throwing around different concepts. I'm like, sure, we can take this and have some real fun with it. So that's how it got started. And we started in February shooting. I fly to Phoenix every other week. And we film and we have fun, and that's how it goes. And we do some stuff at the shows too as well. But I want to do more crazy stuff, more pranking type of stuff.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
Plus the name as well, because your Instagram name is Fit Rockstar, isn't it?
Yes.
So it kind of made itself, really, didn't it? Kind of, it was all there, ready to be exploited.
I guess so. I consider myself somewhat, not now, I'm a little bit fluffy, but the fits and then, the rock star, like not giving a hoot, just being me and positivity. And that's the other thing with my show. It's all about positivity. I'm not into any of this drama stuff, I do like to see some entertainment, of course, with the athletes between each other, but good, clean entertainment. You know what I mean? So I'm all about that positivity. And it was fun because we actually did a skit with Derek Lunsford and Sean Clarita together.
Did you?
So, yeah, we did. So that'll launch soon, but let's just say a water fight is involved between the two.
No way. Oh, fantastic. Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
And let me tell you, Derek is a sneaky guy, okay? He's sly. He did some pretty foul things, Mr. Clarita, but he came right back. Mr. C. But I love the whole Mr. C concept, because he fits it, to the T.
To the T, pardon the pun. So I mean, you said that Sean quite a quiet guy and stuff, but when you put the idea to him, what was his kind of reaction? Was he reluctant, or was he like, yeah, let's do this?
When he saw the wig, it was an MC Hammer wig, okay? And he saw it. He said, "What the hell is this? It looks like a dead animal, you know." But then once he put it on, he put on the glasses and the chains. I never seen he just came to life. He was a really good actor. I mean, he nailed it. Every little thing he did, nailed it.
Brilliant.
So, but at first he was like, I don't know, you know. But then once he got all the stuff on, it was game on. He was a really good team player, and I really appreciate him for coming out and doing that for me, you know, because, again, he's very busy right now, as you know, getting ready for that second 212 Olympia win.
Do you know what? I said to you on the DMs, and I know you've just alluded to it there about the drama and one of the reasons I wanted to reach out to you to promote and help, you know, just give that nod and support is that, like, I'll be honest, like a lot of the bodybuilding media, certainly the last 5 years, it kind of, as a bodybuilding fan, as a media person, I find it really upsetting to see the way it's gone, you know, on the YouTubers, the clickbaiters, and I find it really frustrates me, and I try to counteract that by doing what I do. But also when I see people like yourself that clearly are trying to put some impersonality and some positivity into it, you know, I think that really, really deserves all the support in the world, you know. And I mean, we work for different media outlets, but I think it's so important for the right people to support each other.
I really appreciate that very much. It means a lot to me. And I'm a big fan of the sport like you. And again, that's why I admire you, because you're always a positive light. Like you go above and beyond for the athletes, and you also make it very entertaining. And to me, you're a very good historian of the sport as well. So I applaud you for all you do. Like I said, I wasn't trying to, let me be blunt if I can.
Yep.
I wasn't trying to blow smoke up your ass. I'm the type of person that I speak my mind and what I see, you know, and I'm like you, man. I want more positivity. I want more things out there for our athletes, because I feel like they're not getting the proper recognition. I mean, maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but there's not enough coverage, in my opinion, of these athletes.
Yeah. And the thing is, the sport is bigger than it's ever been. We've got more divisions now. You know, like the wellness is absolutely exploding. And it's like these athletes, and they work. I mean, you're an athlete, you know, you've competed, you know, you're a pro. It's like, and you put so much into this. And I think it's so important to not then be exploited for just a few views or whatever like that. I mean, I really, behind the scenes, I go crazy when I see some of the stuff that I see, you know? So it's really good that you're kind of doing what you're doing the way you're doing it. So you know, in reverse, I applaud you for doing that as well. So before the last year's Olympia, had you done many interviews, or was that, so what was, how did, because I mean, we met in 2019, and I don't remember you doing any interviews.
Listen, you don't hesitate in anything you want to ask me. Just flat out say it. So you're asking me, have I done any interviews before the Olympia?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Or
yeah, was that kind of one of your first gigs?
No, my first gig actually was a Chicago Pro show, which I'm sure you followed that. I was with Sean Ray.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, do you remember the whole Sean Ray deal?
What happened?
But, huh?
What happened? Come on, tell me.
Let's just say that Sean Ray got very popular after that show. And I like Sean, and it was an honor to be with him doing that, and I was just starstruck because, again, I'm a big fan of the sport, and I'm an old school bodybuilder. I love the old school bodybuilding, and so my first introduction into the media with the sport was the Chicago Pro Show, and they just said, you know, they wanted to give that to me because they felt that I had some type of personality, which I don't see it. They see it, I don't see it. And then I know a little bit of something about bodybuilding, which, again, I don't see that either, but, you know, they did.
You've been around a while, long enough. So hang on a minute. So the Chicago and then the Olympia was your second?
I think I did so much stuff last year. So Chicago, and then I think I did Tampa, I want to say. No, I did not do Tampa. Nationals. I did Nationals with Mark Anthony. And then the Olympia. Wow. With my co-host, John Hansen.
Yeah. So do you remember? Did you see what happened on the live stream? Because I was stayed up till 5 a.m. We missed the pose down because you were doing that interview and they kept it on too long. They weren't. I can imagine. I think it was just the end of the night, and I was like, "Come on!" Because Bonac got 5th, and we didn't hear it because they were still filming your interview with I forget who it was. I was like, no, but you did a fantastic job, and I watched the whole live stream. And the thing is, there's a lot of stimulation going on. There's a lot of stuff going on, and especially with it being live, that's a real art in itself.
So you're telling me that they kept the interview going and you guys missed the pose down, huh?
Yeah, we missed the pose down, and we missed Bonac getting 5th, and I think we got just as Hadi was announced 4th. I think I
had no idea.
It was just a mistiming thing, but it was, but you did a great job, honestly, and John did a great job. In fact, I've got John coming on, I think, next week, and it was because obviously with the live streams now, there's a lot of moving parts with these. That's a good thing about COVID is that the live streams have really stepped up their game now, and I think they're of a really high quality. Because I stayed up to about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning watching the Olympia. It was incredible. It was Dan and all of you guys did an absolutely amazing job.
Let me tell you, man, being backstage and hearing the chanting for Rami, holy smokes, it was insane. I mean, the whole Olympia itself was incredible because we had so many different things happen. You're like, oh my God, the Shanique and Sarah, and of course Sean with the 212, and then thank God for Bob with Oksana and the Missy Triscott with the.
Oh, bless him. Do you know what though? That's when a professional is really tested, and Bob handled it beautifully, didn't he? He handled that. Bob surely has tenure with the Olympia. I mean, until he takes his last breath, he is going to have that job until he's, Yeah, I mean, it's just, he's so good at what he does, and I think he's part of the Olympia now, isn't he? He's part of the actual production.
But you know what the Olympia was missing? Do you know what it was missing? It was missing the tiger. We missed the tiger.
I thought you were going to say Dennis James then, but... Well, I'll be back this week.
In spirit, but we really missed you. I mean, you add a nice flavor to the Olympia, my friend. You really do.
British.
And again, I'm not a veteran like you. I aspire to be someone like you. You're like somebody I look up to because, again, I admire your positivity and all you do for the athletes. So thank you for being so awesome. And I'm not trying to give you brownie points either and just being
Thank you. And also, you called it after the prejudging because I think you were the first one to say, Rami looks tremendous. I think he's won this. And I was like, what?
I did?
Yeah, you said it. You said it because I watched it earlier today when it was live. And you said, I think Rami's going to win. Because that was a big shock, the Rami coming out of...
It was a huge shock.
Yeah, it was a great shock.
And that is what the Olympia needs. Stuff like that. That big shock and awe, which, again, it brought the house down, literally, when he won. It was incredible. And again, the whole Sean Clarita thing, too, was his thing. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. Sorry, I'm listening. Yeah. So last time we spoke as well, you said you were going to go from women's bodybuilding to women's physique, but now your kind of media career's taken off. Sorry. Am I bringing that?
You're bringing it up? Jeepers.
Come on, tell us.
Putting me on the spot. I decided to go into wellness.
What? Wellness? Stop it. Stop it.
No, I'm kidding. I'm still doing bodybuilding.
Oh, good.
I'm doing body. I'll be competing next year because my physique is big, I guess. I dropped down to 150, but I do like the body. Here's why I like the bodybuilding, all right? I'll be honest. Wings of Strength, who promotes a lot of bodybuilding shows, they have a Brill, as you like to say, program for it's a Wings of Strength ambassadorship where you can actually get money. I'm talking about a couple $1,000s for your contest prep,
Wow.
So imagine, so you put in a letter, you say why you feel you should be on the Wings of Strength ambassadorship, and they have different tier levels. They pay for your show, they pay for your travel.
Wow.
They pay for a lot of stuff. And some of these things could be like $5,000 and then some for one show. Now I've never, in my years competing, I've never seen a sponsorship where they gave away money like that for competing. So that's why I stay with the bodybuilding, because there's a lot of money opportunities. Keep in mind, we also have our Rising Phoenix Championship in, I think it's in September this year.
Mm-hmm.
And that's $50,000 cash, along with a up to $100,000 car,
Yeah.
When Alina Popa won, she got a Z06 convertible Corvette. Last year was the high-end Camaro
Hellcat
that Andrea Shaw won, Miss Olympia.
Yeah. That's incredible. So, I mean, obviously, when 2019, when we spoke, that was before the bodybuilding had come back to the Olympia. So,
correct.
So you obviously tried to downsize. The bodybuilding, sorry, the female bodybuilding came back to the Olympia. So you just thought, well, and the thing is, I mean, I'm really happy that female bodybuilding's come back to the Olympia, because I really like the look that like Andrea Shaw had and all the athletes. I think women's bodybuilding's come back with a real vengeance now. I think it looks apt. I think it's really going to take off.
It has come back with vengeance, and it is going to take off. And again, it's going to take some time, with building it back up, because again, you were grabbing a lot of women's physique competitors, very successful ones. You've had Asha Hadley on your show, I think, right?
Yep.
Asha?
Yeah. Mayla Ash.
Mayla Ash, who, again, these are very successful athletes in our female bodybuilding. Mayla Ash being top Olympian, I think she came in 4th at the Olympia.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, that's great. Andrea Shaw winning 3 shows last year, coming from physique, becoming Miss Olympia. That's a deal. Asha winning the Savannah Pro last year, again, incredible physique. I call her the real life Wonder Woman, But for me, the reason why I didn't go into physique was because I had to think about the bigger picture. Wings to Strength and Jake Wood and the team, they really, really promote the girls very well. And again, there's that ambassadorship with the sponsorship. There's so many opportunities with women's bodybuilding. Think about it. I mean, look, Andrea Shaw, she won the Rising Phoenix, $50,000 plus the car. That must have been like at least $150,000 right there. And then she won the Miss Olympia, which I don't ask me how much they won. It's a good amount of money. That's a good payday.
It's at least 50. I'm sure it's at least 50, isn't it? 40 to 50. 40, right. Yeah, 40, 50. So that's not a bad.
So it's just close to $200,000 that she took. That's a lot of money. It's a no-brainer.
So then,
for me.
So then, with all that being said, are you going to compete again?
Hell yes, I am.
Oh, yes! Yay!
Hell yeah!
Fantastic. So come on.
Just signed. Can I mention one of my people that I work with? Is that okay?
That's not okay, I'm afraid. Yeah, of course.
Oh, it's not.
No,
really?
go for it. Go for it. I'm being sarcastic.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I am now working with Titan Medical, which I know that's backwards, but anyway, they're going to be helping me in my contest prep. So I'm really, really, really excited because I'm building a good team, coach and all that kind of stuff to get me back on track, because I've missed the spotlight. It's been 1.5 years since I've competed, and I love competing. I want to be shredded like you, Giles, because I've seen your pictures. You're like soup. You're like shredded wheat. Man, you're just shredded.
Shredded Pete, they call me.
Well, I just, anyway, I admire you. But yeah, I am going to be competing again, and now it's on video.
Oh.
It's true. I'm going to be competing.
Yeah. Did you press record, Colleen?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, he's sorry, forgot. Yeah. So you're gonna get into my British humor eventually, right? So,
I love British humor. I'm a big fan of the old school British humor. I love Rowan Atkinson, Mr. Bean, the Black Adder. I love Ab Fab. Ab Fabulous, whatever. And I'm a big Benny Hill fan. Hill. So I totally get British humor. Some of our Americans do not get it. I totally do. It's my speed,
Yeah. Well, thing is, like with what you're doing, they all help each other. The media work helps your bodybuilding. It helps you network. And like you said before we started recording, you're doing the seminars with Bob with the Olympia. Tell us about that.
I'm not doing the seminars with Bob.
No, the big thing with Derek Lunsford and all the different athletes. Are you involved with that? The Olympia, the Dan Solomon, the Olympia, they're the ones at Dallas you were talking about before.
The UBU Expo that they were having, they had recently.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought I was getting mixed up with the Olympia one that they're doing with Dan and all that.
So at the UBU Expo, what they're doing, Bob Ciccarello put together, along with Ed and Betty Pariso, this whole thing, Meet the Olympians. It's like you would totally love this thing. It has your name all over it, you know. You go there, they have the red carpet. It's like you're at the Oscars, and you literally get to see all these Olympians. Now, besides the Olympia, there is no other place where you get to see so many Olympians under one roof. So it was really cool because you got to see, like, I'm just going to name a few, you know, Brandon Curry, of course. You have Breon Ashley. You had Raymond. Am I saying it? The men's physique.
Raymond Edmonds.
Raymond? Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah.
Sarah Villegas was there, and Phil Heath was there with Michael Hearn, which that seminar had me at the edge of my seat.
Really?
I actually posted a video of it, and I'll post it on my Instagram, but Phil gave the most powerful speech ever that just really grabs your heart, you know?
Yeah. Phil's had me in tears before, you know.
Yeah, he had me in tears at this seminar, really.
Several times.
He just really...
Because I did the UK tour. I did a UK tour with Phil a couple of years ago, and like I didn't know what to expect. You know, I'd had him on Global Muscle, the first ever episode, and like, you know, he's such a captivating talker, and he grips you, and he's someone, like, I think we did one seminar. It went on for 2 hours 45, and you could hear a pin drop. Normally, after 45 minutes with bodybuilding fans, they're fidgeting and they're twitching and they're looking at their watch and they're hungry. Everybody was just like this. There was one guy, he had like tears in his eyes, and I was thinking that's unusual in bodybuilding, but that's special.
Giles, it was just like that in Dallas, man. Everybody was silent, and
wow.
Then there's a bunch of cheers, you know, and it was crazy. Like, I love to Meet the Olympians. It was epic. That was one of my highlights. But that seminar with Phil Heath and Michael Hearn was incredible. Like, I really hope that Phil continues to do talks like that at the shows, because I have never seen, now you know more about the history and stuff than I do, but in my time, I have never seen a Mr. Olympia do what Phil did with the speaking, but he's really good at it. He just grabs you. I mean, he knows how to relate to people, you know, and he's so authentic.
Yeah.
And we need it in our sport. And what his goal right now is to try to get other athletes to do the same thing that he's doing, to talk about their life, to, you know, let people know and encourage them and inspire them. So I applaud Phil for that.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, like, every single day he did a completely different seminar, and every day I was literally just blown away, you know. And you think by day 6, day 7, you'd be like, oh, I've heard this one before. Every day he came with something new, and he was like, the last night he had his top, and he was crying. He was crying because he was, and everyone was just like this. And do you know what? It was like, obviously the women were just like, you know, but the guys were as well. The guys were just like. They were like just like hanging on every word, and I just think there's something really powerful when someone as good as Phil can actually connect with people like that, you know, because isn't that, you know, we're not just, obviously we go to these shows and it's a very visual sport, but when you can get someone that can really talk, you know, I mean, in fairness, Brandon was very good as well when we did the Olympia tour with him in Europe. We did UK, Spain and Portugal last year. And he really exceeded all expectations as well. So when you actually give these guys a platform, you know, at things like these seminars and stuff like that, they can really, really surprise you.
Brandon has a very big heart, and I love Brandon. We actually won our pro card together. I can't even talk. The 2008 USA's.
Wow.
And so I have a lot of respect for him. He's such a good family man and a good person. You know, he's always for the fans.
Yeah.
You know, like, and one of my other biggest Olympia people that I love is Jay Cutler, of course, because he's, you know, he is such a good person, you know, and he really does a lot. But it's incredible what Dan Solomon did at this weekend with the Meet the Olympians, as well as Bob Ciccarello and Ed and Betty Pariso. What they put together is incredible. We're going to see it again here in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, at the Orlando UBU Expo. And then later on, a couple months later, we'll see them at I think it's the Phoenix UBU Expo as well. So it's a really big treat for any fans who love, you know, the sport, the Olympia. This is definitely one to go to for sure, where you get to see all the Olympians.
I think the sport's in good hands. I think especially with I think the thing started really changing for the better from my perspective when Jake Wood took over and Dan Solomon was put into, because I've known Dan for years. I mean, I've known Dan properly for about 10 years. And I think the sport's in really good hands now with the media, with everything. And I think it's in a good place. And I think I'm glad that Jake is assembling a very, very good team as well, because that's very important for the future success of the sport and the athletes and the promotion. And, because we all want to see Jake, build the Olympia more and more and more. So Isabelle, this has been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure, my brilliant, handsome GQ friend, the Tiger.
Stop. Keep going. I'm blushing, yeah. Right, okay, Isabelle, Fit Rockstar, tell us, when's the next episode of the show coming out?
The next episode coming up is going to drop on Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Time on the Wings to Strength channel and also the wingstostrength.net website. Eventually, we'll be seeing it on Muscle Fitness and all that other good stuff. So.
Good. Well, that Muscle Fitness, that's the big channel that pulls in the big views, so that's a good one to get on as well.
Yes, and if I can say, follow me at Fit Rockstar Show on Instagram.
Yes.
If I could put that in there.
What we'll do is we'll bring up the banner when you just said that. So you'll bring up the banner as well. So yeah, make sure. Isabelle, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on MD Global Muscle, episode 102.
Yes. So I'm going to go have me some spotted dick right now. That's that British cake, right? Is that what that is?
Right, okay.
My God, Giles.
You enjoy your dessert.
Anyway, thank you for having me.
Right, okay.
I wanted to say that to see if I catch you off guard, but you ignored me.
Yeah, you kind of did that.
Anyway, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much, Isabelle, and look forward to seeing you at the Olympia.
Okay, thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
And welcome back to MD Global Muscle here at the On the Rise Media Studio with me, your host, Giles Thomas. And we're joined all the way from Texas, Hunter Labrada.
What's going on, guys? Good to be back on. Always fun talking with you.
Hunter, man. I've been trying to get you on for a while, and I'm so happy we've got you. And 2021, let's go back and talk about last year, mate, because we haven't really spoken since. I mean, you must have been happy how 2020 turned out.
Man, honestly, I've been asked about it enough now that I have kind of a canned response for it.
Okay.
And that was 2020, obviously, with the pro debut, it was a dream come true. We prepped for the show. We had a lot of adversity with COVID, pushing show dates back. Didn't really know when we were going to compete. And, ended up making it happen in August in Tampa and winning my pro debut. That was obviously a dream come true. Fast forward, headed into the Olympia. Obviously the Olympia is our Super Bowl, and I made it there my rookie season. So that was, something that was, to put it bluntly, a dream come true. And, that entire prep, it was never one of those, I want to be a spectator, I'm just happy to be here kind of deals. It was never, ever that. I was, I kept it to myself the whole time, but that whole prep I was training, top six mentality. Top six my first time. And, I came up a little short on that. Was the goal lofty? Yes, absolutely. But if your goals don't scare you, you need to get bigger goals. I really believe in that saying. So, fell short of the top six finish I was aiming for, landed in 8th. And, I've said the same thing about this finish to everyone, and that it was good enough to be able to hold my head high about my first Olympia, but not good enough that it was satisfying at all. Like, lit a major fire under my ass headed into the off season for sure. So it was the best case scenario. Like I said, won the pro debut, punched my ticket to the Olympia. Didn't embarrass myself at the Olympia. And then, ready to rock and roll this season for sure and build on the momentum we had last year.
Do you know what, though, going back, I mean, I know you had all the... it shows how much you adapted to the situation with COVID, because I was looking at the original pictures when the New York Pro was supposed to be in May, and you were looking good. But when it was moved from May to August, it seemed that from the point where the New York Pro would have been to where it was, for me, you started growing. You started growing into the show. I mean, I was impressed by you, and I thought, yeah, he's good. But up from post what the New York Pro was supposed to be in May, that's when you completely blew my mind.
Yeah, so, you know, there was definitely a lemonade out of lemons thing, if you will. I still remember whenever we, because like obviously whenever you found out New York got moved, like it was, you know, y'all's situation's absolutely screwed there too. But you know, when New York got moved here in Texas, at least, you know, Texas had it better than pretty much everyone else in the States. But whenever that happened, you know, the gyms were shut down. I was in a private facility, and you know, I was training back with Brian, my training partner, and you know, saw it on my phone, showed it to him, but put my phone down, and then, you know, we finished the back session and we drove straight to Five Guys after. And to be truthful with you, what I'm getting at is I was in like that 5-week out shape whenever the show got pushed. And to put it bluntly, I absolutely did, you know, grow into the show from there. Because, you know, I was to the point where I was squozed down enough that, you know, at that point when we had another 12 weeks at least before I was competing, you know, it was, all right, let's push some food and see if we can't grow. And, you know, it was a very, very ideal, you know, scenario for growth, if you will. I was so squozed down, so sensitive, and then my head was so switched on still. Because, you know, there's a lot of people that talk about treating off season like prep. There's a lot of us that, you know, relatively can treat off season like prep. Like, we don't miss meals, we don't miss training sessions. Yeah. But anyone who tells you that it's exactly the same for their off season as they are when they're in prep is lying. It's not the same. You know, just the mental sharpness that comes with the fact that, you know, it's do or die time, you know, it's different. And the fact that I was switched on like that from February 1st until December of last year. Yeah.
Oh my God, 10 months. Oh my God. The thing is, you were originally planning in your head for a 12-week prep. So you kind of had it in your head. This is what I need to do for the next 12 weeks. And then when that 12 weeks kind of hit, then it was like you were then presented with another, but by that point you were already in fantastic shape.
Yeah, it was one of those things, and, you know, last year worked really well for how my body is, because, you know, I don't have a hard time getting in shape. My body uses food really well, and, you know, I do feel like I have a body that's able to, you know, oh shit, okay, you know, like, we were coming in to land the plane, you know, abort, let's take off again. And, you know, I feel like my body handles that well. You know, there's a lot of guys that need every last day of 18 weeks to get themselves in shape. Yeah. That's not the case for me. But those are the guys that, you know, can really grow in the off season. So it's just one of those, you know, like know your body kind of deals. And, you know, my body type worked out really well for the situation that happened last season. And that is, you know, it was able to, you know, do it for 10 months straight and not get worse because of it. so I mean, Giles, I'm gonna let my dogs in.
Yeah, let the dogs in quickly. Yeah. I'll just have a look around your house. Cool.
Yeah, really?
What do you think? He's got a poodle or pit bull? Come on, Carly. What dog's he got? Chihuahua. Oh yeah. Oh, is that a pit bull or a staffy? Staffy. That's a staffy. Oh, got two. Cute dogs there.
Yeah, I got two staffies.
Oh, the staffies! Can you get staffies in America? I've never.
Oh yeah. No, we love our pit bulls here.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
I got one of them. He's name's Titan. He's 10 years old actually. I got him when I was 19. So he's like seen me through like every adult situation and event I've had in my life so far. He's my dude. Oh. And then the other little one, he's like 8 months old now. Liv and I got him right at Christmas time, and he's a beautiful idiot. He's very cute and fun, but he's a puppy still. So.
Oh wow! I used to have when I was 15. I used to have a black Staffordshire pit bull called Zero, and he was and he never went on a lead because he used to belong to some local kind of townies like squatters, and we ended up inheriting him because he ran up a bill at my dad's pub. So they end up saying, "Well, do you want the dog?" And I ended up with this beautiful little black Staffordshire Bull Terrier. And he was wonderful, wonderful pet. Let's go back to the Olympia. What was that? I mean, obviously you were born into bodybuilding. I mean, you know, your dad was the 3-time runner-up at the Olympia, and it's just what was that like? Was it everything you expected and everything you hoped for?
Yeah, you know, honestly, it was. Like you said, you know, I've grown up in this, so it was one of those things that, nothing about it was absolutely new per se, because I had been, backstage at several Olympias. I have had friends that have competed in the Olympias in the past that, I was, in their room for in the days leading up to, and, going to the athletes meetings with them and stuff. So while it was new for me, I had at least kind of been there and done, most of the weekend. So I kind of had an expectation headed into it at least. So that removed a lot of the stress for me. And honestly, it was one of those just, let's take it in kind of weekends. I showed up and, I feel like I was better at Tampa than I was at the Olympia, but I showed up to the Olympia confident with what I was bringing. I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm behind, I'm dreading getting on stage. It was I was excited to show people, and it was obviously the biggest weekend in our sport, my first time there. So, it didn't let down. The venue they did on such short notice, it was really cool. Like I'd never seen a stage like that, even for the Olympia in Vegas. So. They pulled it together in a really grand fashion in a really short time frame for me. And, it'll always be a memorable first one for sure. It was the COVID Olympia where Rami won. So it was definitely interesting.
I mean, top 10. I mean, we'll come off the Olympia in a minute, but I mean, just to go back, because obviously we haven't spoken since. I mean, top 10, your first Olympia, that's a very good starting point. I mean, you beat Dexter Jackson, you beat Justin Rodriguez. I'm a big fan of Justin. You beat some really good bodybuilders there. So it must be a really good springboard for 2021.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously Dex is one of the best to ever do it. And earlier in the year, even he was, top 5 at the Arnold Classic. So
he was second.
Dream come true.
He was second. He beat Rami. He was second. He beat Rami.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. People forget about that. That was last year still.
Exactly. Yeah. It feels years ago now, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it was really cool to get to stand there next to everyone. But the coolest parts for me for the weekend were like the parts that happened off stage, stacked up in line, and it's like in front of me there's Phil Heath, and behind me there's Dexter Jackson. Like the whole weekend when we're sitting there, stacked, not in call outs. I'm sitting there just kind of, like chopping it up with Dex on stage, and like you said, had a chance to stand next to and compete against some really awesome bodybuilders and come out ahead of some of them. So it was really cool.
I think as you've been born into it, I think you must have that, because you're a fan of bodybuilding. Your father was a legendary bodybuilder, and I think you must have a different sort of, like, say someone turns pro and they're kind of in their state, and then they end up in the Olympia in a couple of years. I think for you as a fan, you just have a different appreciation for that. Like you said, Phil Heath behind you, and then there's Rami over there, and there's Dexter Jackson. It's because I think you have a true appreciation of what that really means for you.
For sure, and it's not lost on me either that, in addition to all those people that you're talking about, I'm sitting there laying on the ground with, Reagan Grimes and, Antoine Violent, and like a lot of the younger guys from the next generation. It was kind of cool too, because I'm sitting there going, going to be doing this all over the world with these guys for the next 10 years. So it's just, it was a pinch me moment for sure. Backstage at the biggest show in the world and belonging. So it was cool.
Final quick question: did you win Rookie of the Year?
I don't know if the IFBB ever did an official Rookie of the Year. I know This Is Bodybuilding did a Rookie of the Year thing, and he gave it to the women's physique girl, Rachel Daniels. That poses really incredibly, that, won her pro card, won New York, and then I don't know if she debuted at the Olympia, but she had a really impressive season last year as well. Yeah.
No, because, I think that was the thing that AMI did with Flex Magazine, and I'm surprised because I think the last one I remember winning was 2017. That was Derek Lunsford, but that's something, because I know they didn't make a big deal of it, but I was just wondering, because I was thinking you must have been in contention. You must have been the I can't see anyone having a better season.
Off the top of my head, and forgive me if there's someone out there who disagrees with me, but I don't really know if there's anyone that could have been in that conversation besides Rachel or I. Both of us won our pro debuts and did very well at the Olympia, so I don't think anyone else did that last season.
I don't think it really gets much better than that, is it really? You could have been a couple of spots higher than him, but really, for a first year, that's like in Kevin Navrone, Flex Wheeler territory, isn't it?
Man, not quite there, but yeah, I appreciate you lumping me in with them.
Yeah,
I appreciate you lumping me in with them.
Well, actually, Kevin Devrone didn't even win his first pro show. He got second, so you kind of there's an argument there, mate. Yeah. So, how's 2021 been then, mate? I mean, after that 10 months of prep, I mean, we spoke last year, and you said you were only going to take about 4 weeks off. So, was your body sharp? Did you feel fresh? How did you feel?
So when I got done with the Olympia, my body felt pretty fresh. You know, it really did. I had made it through both the Tampa and Olympia prep with no, injuries of any kind that kept me from training the next session. There's always going to be like little pings or twinges here or there, but, made it through both preps without anything serious, like nothing that was like, oh my God, that I'm dealing with the whole prep. So, finished up with the Olympia, and my body felt good, but it's one of those things. I know I'd been on prep for 10 months. I know internally my body needed time, and more so than anything, like mentally, I needed a break. Physically, I love training. I say I'm gonna take 4 weeks off after the Olympia. That's I was back in the gym on Monday. I love training. This is what really? I love to do. Yeah, but I knew I needed to give myself some time after, but it was more so. It's always giving myself time to get internally healthy. I feel like I do a pretty good job of managing my training volume and my training fatigue, both on prep and in the off season. So, I'm able to start, really making my way into my off season in terms of poundages lifted and, chasing tissue while I am focusing, on getting my internal health where it should be and, getting my blood work done and my health markers all, where they should be. Because I am, I'd like to think one of the more health conscious people that do this. There is definitely life after bodybuilding. I don't want to do this past like 35 or 36.
Oh, really?
No. Yeah, to be truthful with you, it will be very, very, very apparent that I either have what it takes or doesn't have what it takes by the time I'm 35 or 36.
So, how old are you now, Hunter?
I'm 29.
29. So you want to be done by the time you're 35?
I want to be defending Olympia titles, seriously challenging for Olympia titles are done at 35.
Oh.
It will be very apparent if I have what it takes to do that by then. And if I don't, I will have, made my mark, won some pro shows, and I will ride off into the sunset with my health intact and ready to take on a second life.
Oh, mate. Do you know, it's actually really good to hear that, because especially when you get the young guns like yourself, the hungry young lions in their 20s, and you're winning pro shows and they right out the gate and everyone's talking about you. I think, we've seen tragedies, we've seen people whose careers have gone, sideways because maybe they didn't have that mentality,
I think that's something that I've, gotten, growing up in the industry, around Lee, I've seen, his contemporaries, start to get old, strokes, heart attacks, joint replacements, soft tissue this, soft tissue that, and Lee's relatively good. And then, even like moving on to like more like my contemporaries, there's been some, people have had health issues in the past years. There's been a lot of, I still remember, like when I'm coming up, when I'm 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, seeing all these other, 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old kids competing, at, teen and collegiate whatevers. And, it's like, holy shit, how are they that big? Well, I'm bigger than all of them now, and half of them can't bodybuild anymore. So it's one of those things that, I have, had a pragmatic view about it from the jump. And then it's also, one of those things like, you have to be dumb to think this is forever, especially after you've been doing it for a while, knowing the wear and tear it puts on your body and on your health. Like, you have to be dumb to think you can do it for forever. Yeah. And you have to be even dumber to think you can do it for a long time with no repercussions. So, I love bodybuilding. I will always, 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 always train like I am training right now, because it is what I love to do.
Yeah.
But, very much so, I want to get in and get out. It's going to be very evident if I have what it takes to do what I want to do, and I'm not going to be one of those guys that can't do it and just does it for an extra 10 years because he doesn't have anything else to do. That ain't me.
Well, you've got kids, you've got. Plus, I have a very vivid memory. I remember when your dad retired after the 1995 Arnold Classic. And I remember, because I was really shocked, because I was a big fan of your dad. I was a big fan, like Sean Raisins, those kind of the top 3 Olympia guys, And I remember, and he says, I can see where the sport's heading. It's getting supersized. I don't really feel I want or can push my physique to those levels, but I know that this is the right time for me to retire. Do you remember that time? Do you remember what was your...
Yeah, I do. It's very interesting. It's like one of my favorite, voice snippets that I've ever heard from him. And he gives this answer to a lot of people, and they ask him about that period, why he got out. And, he says, I outgrew the sport and the sport outgrew me.
Yeah.
So and that's about as good a way to put it. He had been there, done that, placed top 4 at the Olympia 7 times, won a bunch of pro shows, and, he saw the writing on the wall. He had made a bunch of money competing. He saw the direction bodybuilding was headed. He saw a opportunity in the supplement market that was still, not a, saturated mess like it is now. Yeah. And, he took it and run with it, and look at him now. So it's definitely been a very cool personal example, to, keep in mind that it's not forever.
Yeah. Oh, just lost you there, mate. Someone's ringing you.
Ooh, yeah, I'm back. Sorry.
But you know what? Your dad is a perfect example of what he's achieved, not just in business, but how he looks and how he is now. I mean, that's you're saying you want to be, you want to go on and retire and have your health and have your other things on the go. Your dad's a prime example of that. I mean, how old's your dad now? Is he nearly, what's he?
He's 62.
62. Yeah. And we see all the pictures and he's still shredded. You've been training together lately, haven't you?
Yeah, so it's really cool. We actually just got into our new building probably about 2 months ago now. So Labrada brought a new building, and it is our corporate headquarters and offices, the main warehouse, and then actually a 5,000 square foot private training facility that I picked all the equipment at. So
hang on a minute.
Under one roof now, and yeah, basically I go to work at Labrada again too, because I used to work there full time. But I'll drive up there around 11. I'll eat in the kitchen. I'll get my mind right and go out there and train from 1 till 3. And half the days if he's not in a meeting, I'll shoot Lee a text whenever I'm finishing up. I'm about to pose. And, he'll come down and take a look real quick and then go back to work. So it's been a cool situation being there.
That's amazing. Because I interviewed your dad a couple of years ago, and he said, I train in my lunch hour. He said 45 minutes. He said, I do 45-minute workouts, hit it hard. And when you said 5,000 square foot, I thought you were talking about the entire place, not the bloody gym.
No. just the gym. Wow. The new building's 80,000 square feet.
Oh my God. All those all the lean body, the RTDs.
What'd you say?
Sorry, it's all the lean body RTDs taking up all the space.
Yeah. No, definitely like half the warehouse is just RTD land. They're just pallets stacked to the ceiling of RTDs. It's kind of funny to see, for sure.
Yeah, I remember when because I was working for a guy called John Citrone, and before he started up his own company, he used to do Metrex, and then he did Your Dad's for a couple of years. And he said he said very good things about the company and working with your dad and working with Labrada Nutrition name. Because the thing is, Labrada's one of those companies that it's really kind of stood the test of time, whereas a lot of companies have come and gone. I mean, if I threw some names out of the air, you'd be like, oh yeah, that was 10, 15 years ago. But Labrada's still there. It's still doing well internationally as well, isn't it?
Very strongly internationally, honestly. Our products as a whole do stronger internationally than they do domestic, except for the lean body RTD line. Yeah. We sell a lot more of our performance products and our other SKUs internationally than we do domestically. Domestically, we have a stranglehold on the ready-to-drink protein market. But, internationally, our, performance products, our supercharges, our, isolates, my new Pro Series, all of those products do very well for us internationally.
Sorry, your own Pro Series. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So, anyways,
clues in the name.
in recent years, it's no secret, if you will, that Labrada Nutrition had kind of pivoted towards more mainstream food, drug, and mass. Looking for the the person that's going to grab a drink out of the cooler on their way home from the gym kind of deal, looking for fast, ready proteins. So our RTD, obviously, like I said, it's the number one performing ready to drink protein shake on the market right now. Don't take my word for it. Try one. They all are absolutely delicious. But It had taken a lot of our time, energy, focus, efforts, whatever you want to call it, and rightfully so, to become a large portion of our business. But I'm not the RTD selling look, and so last year we kind of got to this crossroads where it wasn't really going to make sense for Labrada to pay me what's fair for me, and it wasn't really going to make sense for me to do what I'm able to do for Labrada, just because it didn't synergistically match up. So we're kind of at a crossroads, and it was to the point where I had my father's blessing to sign with a different company, had several finalized contracts that just wanted ink on paper kind of deal. And at the end of the day, we've spent so much time building our family's last name. I didn't want to pimp out the family's last name for a check, to put it absolutely as bluntly as possible.
Yeah.
And so once we decided that, we kind of put our heads down and was like, okay, well, what do we need to do to make this work? And we were like, okay, well, we're gonna get back into bodybuilding nutrition, but we're not going to do it in our traditional sense, because obviously the company started in 1995. Direct to consumer wasn't a thing. All of our models have been built on traditional, sell to wholesalers sell to retailers. Brick and mortar barely exists anymore. That's what it was when Labrada started. So our traditional model is business to consumer. Business to consumer, you have to build in, the 20, 30 points for your distributor to make his money on, and then the retailer has to be able to make their money too.
Yeah.
What that causes is it causes you to have to build products that, are not that expensive at the manufacturing level. So when they get, put through the distribution channels, they're not priced out of the market when they get to the store.
Yeah.
We wanted to do something different. We wanted to go with a direct to consumer model so that I was able to, we make a joke, you want to say, I want a Lamborghini for a Honda Civic price. Well, that doesn't exist, right? What we kind of set out to do was give you the Lamborghini for the Mercedes price.
Yeah.
And I feel like we did that and then some. We did 3 products. We did a pump, a non-stim pre-workout, a intra-workout, and then a hydrolyzed whey isolate. And the pump and the intra, I encourage you like your supplements, you can check them out. They check every single box in terms of energy, focus, and pump and endurance. And then the hydrolyzed whey protein, in addition to being delicious, which is crazy for hydrolyzed protein because it's a very bitter protein if you've ever tried it unflavored. It is actually the only one that I have found that is 100% hydrolyzed whey isolate. Even ones that are advertised as hydrolyzed isolate will be a blend of hydrolyzed isolate and regular whey protein isolate. So 3 products. I'm very proud of them. The company's very proud of them. They've done well initially, and it's one of those things, the more people try, the more sales take off. And it's gotten to the point where we've gotten so much interest from those brick and mortar stores that we're talking about. We're in the process of creating a system to be able to roll it out to them as well while protecting the pricing. So that was a really long-winded way of saying what's going on. But that is the Pro Series.
It sounds amazing, mate. Do you know what I've always liked about Labrada is because I find personally, because I've worked in the supplement industry many, many years, and I found that a lot of American protein powders are just too sweet for me. They taste too sweet. But Labrada, that's why the RTDs always do well internationally as well, because the taste of them is, they're not too sweet.
We've always gone with our vanillas and chocolates for like a melted ice cream flavor. Like we don't want it to be like sickeningly sweet. We use a lot of like Dutch cocoa in the chocolates. We use a lot of actual vanilla extract in the vanillas. Like they're not overly sweet. They just taste good for sure.
Well, it sounds like you got the same ethos as your dad, so that's really good. So right then, mate. Obviously, the big news is you're prepping for the Chicago Pro. How's it going, mate? I mean, we've seen the pictures. You're looking awesome.
Yeah, honestly, this prep couldn't be going any better if I wanted it to be. This is my first prep doing everything on my own with my training partner. Him and I are making all my calls, nutritionally, supplements, cardio, whole 9 yards. Like we're handling my entire prep. There is no coach involved. It's me and my training partner.
Oh, wow.
And, we wanted to do that just because, I feel like I have a pretty good handle on my body at this point. And, so does Brian. And, him being able to see me every day and, we train together and everything, I feel like we've gotten a pretty good, back and forth handle on it. So it's been working really well. I'm obviously, you said you've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
ahead of where I've ever been at any point in a prep. And, you know, a lot heavier than I normally am at this point in prep, and then eating a lot more than I normally am at this point in prep. So I feel like we're really kind of getting everything nailed out and figured out.
So you're 5'9", correct?
Correct, yeah.
And what are you, about 254?
I was 249 for the Olympia this year.
Yeah.
And then this morning fasted, I woke up at 259.5.
Wow! Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah, so I if I had to guess after, you know, like walking over to prejudging weight, like we've messed with my water, like whole 9 yards, I would probably say like 252, 253.
Gosh, that's quite a gain then from last year.
Yeah, and it's going to be in considerably better shape than the Olympia too. So I a little more than just those 3 to 5 pounds on paper, I'd say.
Yeah. Do you know one thing I've noticed about your physique, Hunter, is like even at 10 weeks out, your quads are shredded.
Yeah, it's funny. Honestly, it's every show I've done, I've stayed leaner after doing everything exactly the same, you know? So, and I was talking about this thing with my mom the other day, but it's kind of funny to me because it shows me how much I was overeating at the start of my bodybuilding career. Because you know, I've been eating like relatively the same amount of food in the off season for like 4.5 or 5 years now. You know, like 110 to 130 grams of carbs and 50 grams of protein per meal. And you know, it's just every single year in the off season. You know, I think it's a combo of, you know, I competed and got fat off that I've never gotten off before, but you know, we keep on adding tissue, and tissue is metabolically active, and you know, you need more and more and more food to do it. So, you know, I feel like, you know, 4 or 5 years ago, I was like massively overeating in a sense, and I feel like as we've gotten more towards recent times, it's been a lot more of a, you know, controlled surplus. And you know, that being said, too, I'm you know, just 29 years old. I did my first show at, you know, 25, and
25 is it?
Yeah, no, I've only done 7 shows. The Olympia was my 7th. The Olympia was my 7th show ever.
That's crazy. 7th show.
So,
wow.
Yeah, so I feel like just like the act of, you know, really truly dieting down and getting in true show shape, getting like squoze out like a sponge, and then you know, filling back out and rebounding after. I feel like every time someone does that, they get a little better. You know, they got a little bit of, you know, like fat off that they've never gotten off before that stays gone, and you know. But yeah, to answer your question, as time has gone on, I have stayed leaner and leaner and leaner in the off season without doing anything different and without, you know, trying to do it. So it's been interesting.
So I was looking at the shots, and you posted on Instagram today. You said you want your legs the same measurement as your waist.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Yes, exactly what you said on Instagram. And I was like, because I was trying to analyze your physique to see how it improved. How do you think your physique's improved? Because I think your back's definitely improved.
I would hope so. I've been hitting it with a baseball bat every 2 or 3 days for the last 6 months.
Baseball bat, I like that.
But yeah, no, it was no secret heading into the off season that I needed size from the waist up, specifically my back and chest. If I'm being honest, I feel like my arms and shoulders are pretty good, but definitely need more size in my back and chest. So that's what we did. You know, I feel like I finally figured out how to train back about 1.5 years ago now.
How? What have you changed? What have you changed, mate?
Paid a lot more attention to joint alignment and finding exercises that I really connect well with for my, you know, mechanics and my goals and, you know, how my body feels. You know, I feel like it's one of those things, you know, people, when I give an answer like that, people in their minds think, oh yeah, you know, like more like squeezy, this, that, and another. No, fuck that. I'm talking like, you know, I found exercises that felt good on my body and I progressed them into as much load as possible. You know, was a joint alignment and a execution thing and an exercise selection thing, if you will, that I really felt like made a difference. And this is one of my biggest pet peeves, there is no exercise that you have to do to have any body part get good. You do not have to barbell back squat to have big legs. You do not have to T-bar row to have a big back. You do not have to deadlift to have a big back. Are there people in the past that have done those exercises religiously and have some of the best body parts ever? Yeah, absolutely. Causation, cause versus effect. You know, causation is not equal correlation, vice versa. So The biggest difference was finding exercises that worked for me, and just really running them into the ground and progressing on them, and just, time.
I'll be honest, I did think you were going to say something like squeezing or going lighter or more cable exercises, because I've noticed difference between last year and this year, you've got more lower lat thickness. And I think that's where that's definitely where you need, because I'm sure you looked at your pictures and your videos and, sat with your training partner and your dad and said, okay, where do I need to improve? And you could probably see that you needed more lower lat thickness. But I've definitely seen that. And I found that the people who do improve their lower lats are from going more on the kinesiology, I can't say that word, kinesiology, and the biomechanics and kind of, going at different angles and stuff like that. But so it's completely opposite then.
Yeah, I guess it's just one of those things, like especially with your back, A, you can't see it, and B, there are so many parts of the musculature that can accomplish the same thing. And I feel like so many people are just focused, even really good people are, so focused on just progressing the load used and, okay, well, I moved the weight from point A to point B with good form for 10 times last time. Let's put on more weight. Like, that is one part of it for sure, is progressing the load. But, it's another thing to be there and be like, okay, I'm going to get my scapula down and retracted. I am going to keep my elbows, as close to my body as I can, mashed in there. I'm really going to fire my lat. I am, making every conscious effort in my execution and my setup to fire my lower lat as much as possible, not to be able to get as much reps with this weight as possible. I guess that's kind of the thought process that happened. Yeah.
So it's a Texas style, though, isn't it? Heavy kind of back training, really, because you can't have people like Ronnie Coleman and stuff training a certain way, and
Yeah, no, definitely. I'm about as opposite side of the coin as you can get from the way that like Ronnie and Branch train. But it's like I said, it's one of those things. They built some of the best physiques ever training like that. It gives you a different look training like that. So it's like all things bodybuilding. It's what you like and what you want and, what you believe in and what you think is going to give you the best look. And at the end of the day, what you have fun doing, honestly.
Yeah. Okay, one thing as well is I'm so happy that people like yourself are putting a lot of effort into your posing routines, because, like, I always use your dad actually as the example and say, look, go and watch the 91 Olympia and watch Lee Labrada's posing routine and compare that to 99% of the routines you see today. And then you will see a very, very big disparity between what is considered good posing today and what was considered good posing 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah, obviously, coming from the household that I come from, I'm a big believer in having polished posing. I will say this because I feel like I need to kind of put this out there. Not everyone's going to be able to pose like Lee or Muhammad McAway or Frank Zane or in modern times Terrence Ruffin or Sergio or this or that. Like there are a lot of people that are really incredible at posing in their own styles. What I'm a really big, proponent and believer of is putting the time in to be able to present your physique as best as you can. It's one of those things like you would never in a million years, if you were serious about this, think about skipping a meal, think about skipping a training session, think about skipping a workout. Why in God's gentle green earth are you not doing the one thing that allows you to show off all of that work that you did for the last 4 months? It doesn't make any sense to me. And, I'm of the opinion personally, I would absolutely love to see posing routines be scored again. Yeah. If you want to see something improve, make it part of the criteria. There's a reason that guys don't put a lot of time into posing these days, I feel like, and they know it's not a scored criteria. If you can show up to a show and instead of for the last, 10 weeks, you had to spend an extra 30 minutes a day or 45 minutes a day practicing posing whenever you're absolutely, dog shit tired.
But when you say practicing posing, are you talking about compulsories, or are you doing your mandatories, or actually putting?
No, I'm talking about having like a truly good routine. Because I feel like to have a truly good routine, you were practicing it every single day for at least 4 to 6 weeks before the show. Yeah. And those 4 to 6 weeks before the show, it's the last thing in the world you want to be doing is doing everything that you have to be doing at that time. Plus, it's not like you're just sitting there cranking your mandatories, holding them for conditioning's sake. You're trying to, put a routine together that flows and looks artistic, or at least presents your physique in the most flattering way possible. So, like, your mind has to be in it, and you have to be present and involved in it, and it's hard.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of guys that are like, well, I'm not getting scored on this. It makes no impact in how I play. So why am I going to do this?
I can't get on board with that mentality, Hunter. See, like
neither can I. But that's why it is the way it is right now, in my opinion.
Plus, I mean, when I competed, I found that if I started my posing the day I started my diet and my prep. Because if I left it to the last 4 weeks, I'm not feeling very creative 4 weeks out. I'm feeling a bit dead, I mean, you look very fresh considering you're a few weeks out, because you're probably doing it better than I was, But I found that, if I didn't focus on it and just get it ingrained, so when it's the diet started and the prep started getting hard, then it was it was all in the bag,
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. So you're going to put a good routine together for the Chicago?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we'll have a good one together for Chicago, and then have the music picked for the Olympia already, too.
I like it. So, I mean, outside of Chicago and the Olympia, have you got any other shows planned?
Not if I handle business like I'm planning on.
Love it. What about post-Olympia? I mean, I suppose there isn't any shows, I haven't really looked at the calendar.
There's been I've heard, like, through the grapevine, there might be like a show or two in the weeks after the Olympia. That one, it'll probably be more of a game time decision. Headed into the Olympia this year, I know where I'd like to place, and I wouldn't need to do a show after the Olympia if I did that. But if the opportunity presents itself, I feel like it'd be a really big thing to be able to train a whole year for the Olympia. So if my body's up for it and the stars line up, I'm not ruling out doing a show after the Olympia just for that. But right now the focus is Chicago.
Are you not tempted to do the Arnold Classic 2 weeks before the Olympia to qualify for the following year's Olympia? Or would you rather keep it under wraps and just show up at the Olympia, with
No, I have no interest in doing that. The Arnold's a big enough show that when I do the Arnold, my entire focus is going to be on the Arnold.
Okay, yeah.
2 weeks before the Olympia, it's one of those things that wouldn't look my best for the Arnold or the Olympia doing that. So I want to make a splash the first time I do the Arnold for sure. And, taking it on short notice and 2 weeks before the show that I want to actually do, it wouldn't be doing it justice at all.
Yeah. Hunter, I really, really love your attitude. Like the way you look, you're very, very strong with your convictions. You've thought everything through. We've talked about diet, posing, training. You're competing. You've got everything very, very well planned out. And I think that's why you're so good so young, because normally guys in their 20s are just kind of just going hell for leather, and they're kind of going all out, and they, like you said, these are the guys that kind of do end up injured or falling by the wayside, but you seem completely the opposite.
Yeah, honestly, it was one of those things when I said I wanted to bodybuild at 19 years old, I knew the level that I wanted to do it at eventually, and I've always been one to not like wish and dream and say, oh, I wish I could do that, or I really want to do that one day. It's no, I'm going to do this. How do I do this? Okay, this is how you do it. Let's work back from there. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to be a great amateur. I didn't want to be an okay pro. I wanted to be one of the best pro bodybuilders in the world. Wow. And, working back from that, it was one of those things at 19 years old, there was no point in competing as a teen. There wasn't. Taking, the 3, 4, 5, 6 months to waste to bring back down to cut down to nothing. So, very much so from the start of the career, it's always been long game, knowing where I want to end up. I said I wanted to bodybuild at 19. I didn't do my first show until I was 25. I did my first show at 25.
Yeah.
I won my weight class in the overall. I did my second show 2 weeks later. I won that one as well. The following year, people were like, you should go do a national show. You're qualified. I was like, no, I don't want to. I won't win. And, so went to the bigger regional show, like the Europa Dallas, the biggest show they have in Texas for amateurs, in my opinion, and won my weight class in the overall. After that, people are like, you're going to nationals this year, right? Like, no, I'm not ready.
Amazing.
2018, after winning the big national, the big regional show, it was okay. It's time to get my feet wet at the national level. But I did a junior level national show that doesn't give pro cards to bodybuilders. I won my class in the overall at that too. Then that year, after winning my class in the overall at the junior national show, I went to nationals and I won my class in the overall my first try at the nationals.
So,
it's one of those things. It was, if I would have listened to people and gone 2 years before when everyone was saying, like, oh, you should go to nationals, you'll do well. No, I won't. I might place third or fourth, but that was never even remotely the goal. The goal was to win. And, I feel like I had people in my corner, my dad, my training partner, the coaches that I've used in the past. We've all been able to be very pragmatic and realistic. It's not a matter of me not being good enough. It's a matter of me not having enough time yet. And that's always what it will be, in my opinion, all the way through to the end of my pro career. I know I'm good enough. It's just a matter of time.
And that is how you go from, in 4 years and 7 shows, to top 10 in your first Olympia. That's the mindset, that's the plan it took, that's the attitude it took, and that is what I think will carry you forward for the next, carry you forward for the next few years. So, mate, I can't wait till the real excitement starts, maybe 4 or 5 weeks before Chicago, because obviously there's other shows going on. We're talking about Puerto Rico.
Man, we're sitting at 4 weeks and 5 days today, right?
Is it 4 weeks today?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Saturday was 5 weeks out. It's 4 weeks, 5 days today.
Oh, you look really fresh, mate. You look really fresh.
Yeah. Got my beauty sleep last night.
Cool. All right then, mate. Well, I'm just, like I said, really, really, really looking forward to Chicago. And, I believe you. I think you're going to move up this year, mate. And I just can't wait to see, because obviously your prep was strung out last year. And I can't wait to see you fully fresh with all that time off to prep and and bring, with no move dates or anything, to Chicago and then to the Olympia. So, yeah, Hunter, absolutely. I wish you all the very best, mate, and we'll be watching.
Thank you, man. Always a pleasure talking with you. It's always a good time.
Hunter, all the best, mate, and I'll speak to you very, very soon.
Awesome, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you, Hunter. Bye-bye, mate. Okay, guys, it's Hot News and Shout-Out segment for episode 102 of MD Global Muscle. Right, okay, first up we have Mohammed Shaban, the silent killer, 51.8 thousand followers. Right, okay, now Shaban we had on the show a few weeks ago, and of course he ended up taking second at the Cali Pro. Now, these are the pictures. Many people felt he could have won it, but I think Patrick Moore was a decisive winner. But he hasn't put the pictures up. No, because Mohammed's wife, I forget her name now, she tagged me in on MD's DM stories, and there's a picture. He's sharpened up considerably, and he is doing the Puerto Rico Pro. So, yeah, so he's looking. I'll be honest, the pictures I've seen, much better than that. He is much sharper now. So I think he's definitely one to watch for the Puerto Rico Pro this weekend. So, of course, it's going to be a very, very packed show. We have Akeem Williams, Hassan Mustafa, we got Jamie the Giant, Eddie Bracamontes. So the Puerto Rico, it's funny, the Puerto Rico, a couple of weeks ago, no one was really talking about it. Jamie thought it was kind of going to be like a sort of a weak lineup, maybe, because there wasn't many people talking about it. Everyone was talking about Chicago and pretty much Chicago, actually, and that's it. But so it looks like the Puerto Rico Pro is going to be a very interesting show. And of course, Mohammed Shaban, he's someone that even though he got second place at the Cali Pro, again, many people aren't really talking about this guy as a potential winner. It's kind of all Hassan versus Akeem Williams. So just wanted to give him a quick shout out because I think he's going to look a lot better. I saw a rear shot and he just looks absolutely, the vascularity and the dryness, the detail, the conditioning, very, very impressive. So, okay then. Now, Eddie Bracamontes, we also had on MD Global Muscle a few weeks ago. So it's really annoying when I do that now, actually, isn't it? That's getting on my nerves. I mean, that's actually getting on my nerves. So what's it doing to these people? So, got to stop saying that. Train yourself out of it, Giles. MD. I can't do it. It's too annoying. It's a habit now. MD glove muscle. I even say it on my morning. I say it on my morning. So I'm rambling now. Right. Okay. Eddie Brockamontes. Eddie was, now as you can see, Eddie took 5th place at the, there he is there, took 5th place at the Cali Pro. Mohammed Elaman was 4th. There's Mohammed Shaban was 2nd. 3 Egyptians in the top 5. That's impressive, isn't it? So they got Mr Olympia, they got Big Ramy, and they got 3 guys in an American show in the top 5. I tell you what, I've written about it in my column actually about the Egyptian bodybuilding scene. It seems to be on the up. So, and of course, we had Patrick Tuor there winning the Cali Pro, a show that he won in 2019. So now after the show, I messaged Eddie. I spoke and I said, well, we spoke about it on the show. I feel like you need to drop probably 6 to 8 pounds because he prepped himself for this show. And he said he was going for Puerto Rico. And I said, right, okay, then you've got 4 weeks to drop really 6 to 8 pound. Cut the pancakes out on your refeed day. No, that's his cheat day. That's what he has on his refeed day. So I said I would cut those out 2 weeks out. And then today, this post went up. I was told by the judges, and Giles, the judges, that I needed to be tighter, better condition when I finished 5th in my last show almost 4 weeks ago. I agree with them 100%. Okay, he's dropped 9 pounds. So he's definitely sharpening these pictures. There's more going on in the back. The glutes are tighter, the hamstrings are tighter. And this is before he pulls water and everything. So, look, he's tagged. I think he's tagged us in MD Global Muscle. See, I said it right there. So I'm really excited. So if he was 275 at Cali Pro, he's going to be closer to 265 for this show. So that is more really kind of where he needs to be. So at least he's getting. Oh, look at the face there. Sorry, I just missed that. Look at the face. Yeah, he's getting proper diet face. He didn't have that at Cali. So, I mean, he needed to drop the extra weight to get the quads in because he was a little bit, as you can see. Look. Yeah, it's Phil Heath there, yeah. Yeah, so you can see he's looking a little bit heavy in the lower body and there's, he looked kind of 2-3 weeks out there. But I said to him, look, if you really pull it down 6 to 8 pounds, I think that's what I said, you would look a lot better. So he's obviously heeded that. I mean, and obviously the judges have told him he needs to be tighter. I mean, it's kind of obvious really when you look at the picture. It's self-evident. Oh, hang on a minute. Is that an old picture of Eddie? Yeah. Oh, wow. Look at that. And there's obviously Phil. And there's Phil now. That was at the Cali Pro because obviously Phil Heath prepped Patrick Tuor for the Cali Pro. So that's nice. So that's 11 years ago. That's 2010. In 2021. Wow, that's so cool. So cool. Look at Phil's arms. Do you remember his forearms when he did? What was your reaction when you saw his forearms when he came to?
Can't stop staring at it.
It's just he's got like a head coming out of his forearm.
I remember him posing next to the mayor.
Who?
The mayor.
Oh, the mayor. Yeah, the local mayor. We had him at a charity event, didn't we? Phil Heath on the Global Muscle Pro Tour, which then became the Olympia All-Star Tour 2021 now. So we need to get some tours organised. There might be some news on that very soon in the public domain. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Yep. So right. So okay. So that's really what I wanted to say for Eddie. So I'm really, if he could, maybe he could drop 9-10 pound. If he could be 9-10 pound, he'd still be over 260. He's still going to be one of the biggest guys up there. But another quick check-in now with AKA the Giant, Jamie Christian Big, who we had on the show last week and who we had in the studio at the end of season 3. End of season 3, wasn't it? Yeah, end of season 3. He came into the studio and was sat opposite there. So I think we've definitely got to get him back in the studio, haven't we? Yeah, it was cool. It was good fun, that. So now, obviously, all the pictures like these ones, this is morning. He's very flat, very depleted. And as you can see, he looks, he's super flat there. But that's when he likes to shithouse pictures. This is when he likes to post his pictures, when he's like kind of looking his flattest, and really, even though he's dry in the morning, he's very, very depleted here. It looks very flat and depleted here. So, but he said that's when you should post your picture. Oh, look at that. That's a good shot. Look at that. That's a guy who's 6'5", 300 pounds pretty much. Nearly, but 298, I think he said. So that's him before he starts filling out. Now, that, I think he looks fantastic there, but he does look very flat. And then he posted this picture. So this was the final picture he posted. I reshared it on MD Global Muscle and MD's Instagram. So as he started, I think it looks like, I don't think he's started carbing up yet. I think but judging by where the picture's taken in the bathroom, I think that's just after he's trained. So that's going to be more of an indicator of how he will look when he fills out. Obviously, hopefully if he doesn't spill over, but I don't think he will. I mean, he comes in nice, he cruises in nice and steady with his preps. But, this is a guy, 6'5". He's going to be 300 pounds on stage, and he has made some significant improvements to his physique. The arms look bigger, hamstrings are thicker, quads. He's got fantastic quads, but and he's got some fantastic shots. The front lat spread, side tricep. I mean, these are really deadly shots for Jamie.
I saw a comment saying he looks like a Benedict Cumberbatch.
He looks like Benedict Cumberbatch. Okay, I like that. It's good, that. Yeah, I like that. It's cool. Right, okay then. And our next shout out is Hassan Mustafa, because I was very, very happy when I saw this post, because he's saying Puerto Rico Pro in 10 days. Now, Hassan was third at the New York Pro. And then what was he at I think he was third or fourth at the Cali. But he didn't look quite as good at the Cali. And I think we all expected him and wanted him to be better than he was at the New York Pro. I actually thought after Cali, I don't know why I had it in my head, that I thought he was shutting it down and was going to maybe go back to Kuwait. Because even though he's Egyptian, he lives in Kuwait, trains out in Kuwait. Not Oxygen, it's another gym. I think it's Gold's Gym. That's what he told me the last time he came on MD Global Muscle anyway, with his wife translating. But so he's obviously, he's going to keep on pushing through. I believe he's training still at, well, he's there, as you can see. That's Flex Lewis's Dragon's Lair gym in Las Vegas. Pardon me. But this was the final video he posted. Let's have a look. Oh, hang on. Let's have a look. So where is he there? What is he there? How many weeks out? How many days out there? So let's have a look. Well, sounds pointless. It doesn't really add anything. Yeah, I don't know. He's got that. He's got a strange kind of muscle quality, where when he's relaxed, he looks very soft. But is that sharp enough to win Puerto Rico and beat Akeem Williams? I like the way he hits his lat spread with the back of his hands.
They just pop at the end.
That looks cool. Looks really cool, because his back is definitely better than it was last year. He's got more detail going on his chest, more going on his shoulders, more kind of lines and detail, which is great. He's definitely better than he was last year. It looks good there. Looks good. That guy is a bit distracting. I just hope he nails it. I'd love to see him bring a better package than what he brought at the New York Pro, because if he does, then Akeem's in for a real fight. I think it's going to be Akeem versus Hassan. I think Shaban. I think Akeem. I think this is Akeem. Akeem's looking to move up this year. We'll come to Akeem anyway.
Who is this guy's coach again?
His coach, Chris Aceto.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's got probably one of the best coaches in the he is one of the best coaches in the world.
And you got Flex Lewis.
He's got Flex Lewis. I don't know how much. Flex is probably doing a bit of training with him and maybe keeping an eye on him and giving him pep talks and stuff, which does make a difference actually when you compete. That kind of support. It's not just about being told what to do or how you look. It's about that kind of support and keeping you going. Because mate, prepping's hard, mate. I've done it. It's bloody hard. So right, okay. Then now I know we had Derek Lunsford on. Bloody hell, we've had about 2 or 3 shout outs now in the last few episodes. But I really, when I saw this, actually, it's not even this video. It's this one. This is what came out today. I'm telling you, mate, that looks like bloody Tom Platz. Yeah, doesn't it? Look at that.
Quadzilla.
That, and you know what? His legs were weak. I'll be honest, they were definitely a weakness at Olympia. From the front, they lack the kind of width, but my God, look at them now. I mean, there's just so much muscle there. It's ridiculous. And also, in the last couple of years, Derek has really brought his calves up as well, because he used to have quite weak calves. So here's a guy now working with Hani Rambod. My God, he's getting that Phil Heath thickness. He is. He's getting 3D look. I mean, this is the new version, all new version of Derek Lunsford.
Ronnie Coleman 212 versus Phil Heath 212. I think.
Yeah. Sean Clarida, the 212 Ronnie Coleman. You got the 212 Phil Heath now. Wow. Do you know? I don't remember saying Black Dorian Yates. I don't think I said that.
No comments.
No, I didn't. I don't. I call him. I've always referred to Sean Clarida as the 212 Ronnie Coleman. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I must have said it. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the footage. Does anyone remember me saying that? Because that seems like a strange thing that I would.
If you find it, edit it in.
Yeah. Okay. But anyway, so yeah. I can't. I'm so excited. I mean, he's got lines in his glutes there, and he must be like. He can't be far off 250 here. I mean, it's got like the muscle and the thickness. I mean, he is really... Is he going to make 212? Mate, I don't know whether... I mean, he'll have to. I mean, he's...
Unless it's a secret that he's actually doing open.
Yeah, no. I just... do you think he's... No, I don't think he would be doing that, would he? I'm going to be interested to see if he can bring an improved package at the Olympia as a 212 with all this new muscle and not losing this impressiveness, or it's going to be such a waste him going into the 212. I think he needs to go open, but this is incredible. I mean, fucking hell, it's amazing. Let's have a look at some of the comments. Chris Gethin, if this wasn't a video, I'd say Photoshop. You look so freaking huge. You've warped my screen. That's Chris Gethin, fellow Welshman. Oh, shit, what have I done here? Right, let's have a look. Okay, Evagen, so pumped for this year. You the best. Yeah, I mean, he was second. Think about it, right? He won his first pro show a week after turning pro at the NPC USA's in 2017. So he wins Tampa, goes and gets fifth at the Olympia, wins Rookie of the Year. 2018 comes second to Flex Lewis at the Olympia. 2019 comes second to Kamal Gargani at the Olympia. And, you know, he's one spot away from winning the Olympia title. Last year drops to fourth. I mean, that really would knock some people back. But this has just fired this guy up. And he's gunning hard. I mean, I tell you what, you got Derek Lunsford, Sean Clarida, the defending champion. You got George Peterson in the 212. Kamal Gargani looking to regain his title after losing it last year. 2019 Olympia champion, 2020 second. But I tell you what, the 212, I think there's an argument for giving these guys more prize money. Sorry, guys. I mean, to the organisers, I know it's going to piss you off, but yeah, I'm very, very. I mean, I keep banging on about it every week now in this show. But I'm getting all giddy. Colin, I'm getting giddy with excitement for the 212. This is great. No, I can't have sugar. I'm diabetic, you. Sugar actually does the opposite for me. It makes me, it's like, the opposite. Look at that picture of Sean. I think you need to change this picture, mate. I think you're about 150 there. Right, now this is the picture that has got everyone talking. Holy shit. And that is not photoshopped. I mean, you're in a pretty good position when you've got an Olympia title under your belt and you're looking like you're bloody photoshopped. And he's 198 pounds. So he's up 22 pounds over what he was when he won the Olympia in the 212 last year. I mean, it's just... Thing is, every single year he's got bigger and his placings have got higher and higher and higher. So obviously he is looking to retain the title this year. I mean Derek Lunsford and Sean Clarida, man. I tell you what, Kamal, George Peterson, wow, John Jewett, guys like that. You know, this is incredible, absolutely incredible.
John Jewett qualified?
Yeah, he's still got to qualify, hasn't he? That's actually a good point. Yeah, it's a good point. I'm thinking about the fourth place he took in 2019. But look at that. I mean, there's not much room left here, is there? James Holland said, I don't think there's any space left, mate. Damn. 106 likes. Hidi, Yamagishi, shocked faces. Why did someone Photoshop Sean's head on Ronnie's body? Matt Jansen, time to ride, baby. Oh, Giles Tiger, blinking flip. That's me. Mini Ronnie Coleman, literally a mini Ronnie. Oh, my God. Well... yeah, I mean, look at the kind of weights this guy's lifting. This is a 200-pound guy. What is that? What's that? 100? What? No. 120s. He could kill them. That's 180s. Is it? Yeah, it's 180s. Is it? They look bloody. They look like 180s. What are they? It didn't say. Look at that. that might be the most unnecessarily big 130 pounds, 130s. I've done 130s. Busta Rhymes.
Huh.
Wow. So cool. Hey, he should come out on the Mr. Olympia stage to the intro of Feminine Fat. Oh, that must be a Busta Rhymes track. Okay. Unnecessarily big 130s. I mean, he's incredible, Sean Clarida. I mean, he is the 212 version of Ronnie Coleman. I will say it again and again and again, because that is who he reminds me of as a bodybuilding fan. But, yeah, so here he is on stage guest posing with Nick Walker and, what's this guy's name? Oh, God, what's his name? Hang on, where is it? I forgot this guy's name now. Brett Wilkins. Brett Wilkins just turned pro, I believe. So he's looking to make his pro debut. I'm sure I saw Tampa. I don't know much about this guy, but he's part of the Matt Jansen team. So obviously got Nick. Where's Nick Walker's neck? Too much cream of rice, buddy. Wow, look at Sean. What a tank. Wow. Tell you what. Yeah. Look at those. That's an impressive team. Very impressive team. Right, okay then. We give Sean loads of shout outs. So, and also check out the article I wrote on Sean Clarida called A Lesson in Persistence in the latest issue of MD. Really enjoyed writing that one because I love Sean. He's a cool dude. Okay. Now, big news in Olympia is the tickets are now on sale. So, got to be quick. We've got another guest on in 15 minutes. Right, okay, yes. So, the tickets are available now. Go to MrOlympia.com. And, so Friday night at the O, Mr. Olympia prejudging, Miss Olympia finals, 212 Olympia finals, Fitness Olympia finals, Figure Olympia finals, and Women's Olympia finals. So, I'm assuming the prejudging is going to be in the daytime, and then they're going to have the finals all in the same day for those categories that I've just mentioned. Oh, yeah, here we are. Yeah, don't miss the finals, the 212, the prejudge and the Mr. Olympia, the finals. Finals. Okay, well, that's on Friday night, October the 8th in Orlando, Florida. Okay, hopefully I'll bring it back to Vegas next year. Oh, stop it, guys. Why isn't Chris Bumstead on the... Oh, I hate it when people do that. Why isn't on the poster? Guys, they're going to release more posters. They're going to do a poster for the Saturday, and Chris Bumstead will be on that one because he's competing on the Saturday. So don't get your knickers in a twist, quite frankly. So that's a Brit. Yeah, I've got Giles rants. Yeah, so I'm not sure about this rants thing. I got to keep it. If we can do a positive slant on it, I'll do it. I mean, this kind of rant is fine, but because that's kind of just Anyway, it's pointless reading the comments. It's the Olympia. So so there'll be it basically now the Olympia tickets are on sale. So go to MrOlympia.com. Or basically go to the Olympia Instagram, which is Mr. Olympia LLC. 3 million followers. We've had posts on here for the Olympia tours we did, the Olympia All-Star Tour. Picture of me with Kamal and Brandon Curry, training at a gym down south. So, sure. I don't think I actually trained, actually. Did I train? I had my training stuff on, but I don't think I trained. No, because Brandon and Kamal were training together, and we had it filmed privately because they wanted to pay extra to have the two guys. So Kamal came over, and obviously he's training with Brandon. It's good publicity and good promo, and they had a really great time. Sorry?
You
Spectate. Well, obviously I'm not going to say can I join in when they're filming a private filming session that they've paid to have done. Yeah. I've told you the story, haven't I, about the... oh, look, there's Fit Rockstar Show. There we are. There's Isabelle, who's in this episode. And I can say that because we've already done the interview. I'm not saying about who else is in the show because there's one interview left to go. And that comes before this in the running order. And you never know what's going to happen because Sod's Law, you'll mention it and they won't turn up. So something will go wrong. Oh, Sean looks like he's having fun, doesn't he? Look at him. Is he blushing?
Yeah, a little bit.
12 p.m. PST. I thought she said, I'm sure Isabelle said EST, but yeah. So anyway, so check that out. It's going to go out on 3 p.m. EST time. That's 8 p.m. UK time. So, well, obviously we're all friends in the industry and we all support each other. So what was I going to say? I was going to say something else then. I forgot what else it was. Yeah. What's Brandon wearing? Oh, this is the seminar Isabelle was telling us about. Look at Brandon. That's Brandon with Sydney Gillen, the figure Olympia. And you got Janet Lake there. Who's that guy? Is that Keon? Looks like Keon. Yeah, look at Dan, he's pumped up. Have you noticed how Dan's looking now since he took over the Olympia? He's got his teeth down, he's all tanned, he's training hard. And he's dressing a little bit more swag. He's got this. Yeah, he's cool. I like to see that. I like to see that. Sorry? I can't hear you. I've got the headphones on. Look at that. Look at this. Go on, Brandon. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Snoop Dogg. No, it's George Peterson. I looked like Keon before I zoomed in. God, look at the size of George Peterson. Holy shit. Wow. I think his destiny lies in the open, George Peterson. I think he's too big. He was too big for classic, too big for 212.
I will tell you this. I've been doing this for a long time.
All right, Dan. Yeah, I love the passion, Dan. Love it, love it, love it. And and I think we need to get moving on to more tours as well. So, right, okay then. You didn't hear that from me. The final shout out is the new winner of the Junior Nationals last weekend. A guy called Cole Eastvold, part of the Labrada. I can't say it. Labrada Nutrition. He's one of their team members. And he just popped up on my Instagram yesterday, so I started following him. And I want to give the guy a shout out because he has just won the Junior NPC Nationals. Now, the Junior NPC Nationals doesn't qualify you for pro card. I'm sure it does. I don't think it does. Does it give you a pro card? I'm sure Isabelle said it doesn't give you a pro card. I'm sure one of the guests on today. Something's flagging up in my head. Is this guy a pro? Anyway, yes, I think Junior Nationals means he now has to go on to the Nationals. But yeah, look at this shot. I mean, looks good here. Looks bloody good. Who does it remind you of? Who's it remind you of, physique-wise?
I can't remember. We had him on before.
I'm trying to think. A little bit Dennis Branch Warren, Dennis Wolf. No, I can't think. It's... Yeah, but look at that. He looks great, doesn't he?
The guy with the pointy ears and pointy ears.
Hang on a minute. If this guy's doing the Nationals, he's going up against our boy, Carlos Thomas Jr. Oh, shit. We're not rooting for this guy, are we? No. Well, means that if he's going to be doing the Nationals in the is he a super heavyweight? What can we learn more about this guy? He literally just popped up on my feed today, so I just want to give him a bit of promo, bit of shout out. I don't know what category he won. Yeah, it looks probably a super. He can't. Sometimes you can judge by the height, but so if he's a super heavyweight or a heavyweight, and he's doing the Nationals, he's going to be going up against Carlos Thomas Jr., who is also in this episode. So it looks like the standard at the Nationals is going to be pretty high this year. So so maybe we'll have to get this guy on. This is a good shot, like this one. Oh, I did see this guy beforehand. Yeah, I did see him. Yeah, that's obviously him without all the tan on and everything. But, right, okay then, guys. We will have to leave it there because we have our final guest on episode 102 of MD Global... I've done it again. Stop it. MD Global Muscle. Yep, sorry. Like Isabelle said, a bit special. Right, okay then, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. And, yes, as always, thank you for the support. Okay, we're going to go because we have a guest in less than 10 minutes. Guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. And ladies and gentlemen, we are out.